Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It has been a nice, long hiatus. We hope that you have had a wonderful time, but it's time to rev up those engines once again because we are finally returning with long-time watcher, first-time writer. I am incredibly excited to once again be your host, King Fats the 95th, and joining me as always are my wonderful, now honorary long-time watchers. We got ActionShakespeare.
Yeah, it took a fucking long time to get here.
Yeah, didn't it? Beedrops.
Hello.
And the wonderful Illiendic Nonnagon.
Hello.
We hope that you are doing well. Are you excited? We're getting started with a whole brand new season of Kamen Rider. Old Ichigo is gone, only from our screens. He still lives in our hearts and in our memories. But we're not going to be talking about him and his shenanigans with Shocker anymore. We're going to be talking about a brand new hotness, and B is going to give us some information about that. Take it away, B.
Oh, thank you, King Fats. I've written a little prelude, so I hope you'll indulge me, and I hope you enjoy it. Kamen Rider Kuuga is the 14th installment in the Kamen Rider franchise, following Kamen Rider Black RX as the first proper series entry in over a decade. It began airing in January 2000 along QQ Sentai Go-Go 5, what a name, soon replaced by Mirai Sentai Time Rangers a month later. This block of Kamen Rider and Super Sentai shown back-to-back solidified the two as sister series, and 3 years later, this weekly hour of programming would come to be known as the Superhero Time Programming Block, which still runs to this day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's awesome. Kuuga marked several firsts for the franchise, and it wears this on its sleeve with the catchphrase, "A new hero, a new legend." It was the first series in the new millennium, the first series in the Heisei era, the first series broadcast in widescreen format, and the first Kamen Rider series finished without the supervision of Kamen Rider franchise creator, the prolific mangaka Shotaro Ishimori. In 1997, Shotaro Ishimori, the creator of Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and countless other tokusatsu franchises, began work on Kamen Rider Kuuga as an attempt to revive this series in anticipation of its 30th anniversary. Producers at Toei had been skeptical for years about revitalizing the Kamen Rider series, and there were debatably two major factors in their change of mind. Firstly, there was the popularity of Sagata Sanshiro, the character portrayed by Hiroshi Fujioka. I haven't spoken in a long time.
And it's also a hard name.
Sagata Sanshiro.
Sanshiro.
There's a song for it because he was the Sega Saturn mascot.
Yeah,
yep.
A character
Sagata
portrayed by
Sanshiro, Sagata Sanshiro.
Character portrayed by Hiroshi Fujioka, who played the original Kamen Rider Takeshi Hongo, created by Sega to advertise the Sega Saturn in a series of ads in 1997 and 98, which sparked nostalgia for the old hero and rekindled interest in a new series. Secondly, producers recognized that the timing could be perfect to cater to two generations of fans. Fans of the older Kamen Rider series who had grown and started families of their own, and their children. Shotaro Ishinomori also always had some hand in every Kamen Rider series up until this point, from designing writers to writing episodes to general creative supervision. Unfortunately, in 1998 at the age of 60, Ishinomori passed away from heart failure, and he would not be able to see the project come to fruition. However, his work is still incorporated into the show, and he would be credited as Kamen Rider Kuuga's creator, as well as the creator of all subsequent Heisei Kamen Rider series.
60?
Yeah.
That's fucking young, dude.
Right?
Yeah. A little bit, but the man worked so much. He's literally in the Guinness Book of World Record for working the most.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
The most pages of comic ever created by a single artist.
God.
Fuck.
Heart failure sounds about right.
Yeah.
Stress. Yeah, that's the... Yeah, but in any case. And so in the first month of the second millennium, Kamen Rider returned to televisions all across Japan. Much of the world had celebrated that momentous change of year with optimism for better times, but as many of us remember, the early 2000s were rife with as many escalating struggles as unhealed wounds from past decades, and Japan was no different. Japan was emerging from its first lost decade, the name given to the period resulting economic stagnation after the asset price bubbles burst in 1991. Japan had experienced tremendous economic growth during the 80s, dominating the global technological market, and this bursting and deflation of the yen marked the beginning of a period of unease and instability for many Japanese citizens. A period which extends even to modern times, as Japan, as to this day, still hasn't fully recovered from this economic event and continues to struggle with slow economic growth, particularly in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic in 2020. Rises in unemployment, dissatisfaction with poor working conditions, and lack of security for older and retiring workers throughout the late 90s left many families feeling anxious about the future. The series' primary antagonists, the Grongi tribe that play a terrible murderous game, also draws potential parallels to the lasting trauma Japan felt in the wake of their own struggles with cults in previous decade. Though many of us Americans may look back on the time with befuddled amusement, recalling the satanic panic largely as a way to decry largely innocent and often foreign media properties, Japan would experience horrific attacks at the hands of cultists within the country, most notably the religious doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo, which was responsible for multiple sarin gas attacks in the mid-90s, killing dozens and injuring many more. These horrific attacks left lasting scars on the country, one of which can be seen even now in the form of the lack of public trash cans all throughout Japan, which was a direct measure taken to help prevent similar methods of sarin gas attacks from being conducted again. In an official press conference for Kuuga in 2000, the series producer, Shigenori Takatera, said, "I think it's about what kind of anguish people live with, and how they, the characters, can heal it by interacting with it. Perhaps there was an intention to write something more relevant to the anxieties of the time, to make a series that could truly look at the underlying tensions and unease in the lives of its audience and show them a way through to reach a new and brighter tomorrow. Though I may be preemptive in passing judgment, I think it's fair to say that it succeeded. Kamen Rider Kuuga marked the revitalization of the Kamen Rider franchise, which has continued regularly ever since. Additionally, it was also the origin of the term the Odagiri effect, named after the handsome starring actor Joe Odagiri, who attracted an unexpected amount of adult women to the audience, a phenomenon that would come to have lasting impact on casting, marketing, and writing choices in the franchise and rippling into other properties and genres as well. I'm sure that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and that there are certainly many more influences and legacies the show has created that I have yet to discover, and I'm excited to learn about them myself in time. And so, without further ado, it is with great anticipation that we dive into this, our second series on Longtime Watcher, First Time Writer, Kamen Rider Kuuga, a new hero, a new legend.
I feel like I should give a standing ovation.
I know, right? That was so good.
I stuttered
Compliment.
That was so good. There's so much to talk about just in that little blurb alone without even going into
real.
actual Kuuga. There are so many little good bits to highlight. It's funny because B sent this ahead of time, and so I got to skim through it. But for some reason, it didn't really mentally click to me until hearing it again. That had things gone a little bit differently, I could have grown up watching Kuuga on TV. That's
wild.
What a wild thing to think about, that I could have just been there for it.
Yeah.
Stuff like this is interesting. The backstory of the Lost Decade and the rise of cults and stuff, there's a distinct feeling shift going from Kamen Rider Ichigo to this.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
And I knew things would feel different, but wow, the main thing it brings to mind, me, B, and others have been watching Macross, the entire body of Macross animes, and this distinctly reminds me of the jump from Super Dimension Fortress and 7 into Zero and Frontier.
Like the post 9/11 shift in media tone kind of dynamic. And not to say that 9/11 is what did that. That gap in series also, took place during the same time as this one, where those things happen. It's just interesting to go into a series with a little bit of period in cultural context, into which what is potentially the general mind state of the the audience that would be engaging with this? What are their lives probably like? What are their parents' lives probably like?
Mm-hmm.
And the turn of the millennia was a tumultuous time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was rough for so many people. And yeah, like, so this information is giving context even to that. Because, yeah, like I was saying post 9/11 for a lot of it because it's very military focused in Macross.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even the context of what was going on at home, just like, you know, cults, terrorist attacks, economic bubbles bursting, like,
Yeah.
shit was going down by the year 2000. So everything post that is like just everybody is a lot more aware of their mortality and the mortality of
bit.
others. In ways that shows in the 70s, 80s, and 90s just seemed to gloss over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely kind of gives a feeling that, like, stuff in the, stuff before then was meant to be a little more escapist. You know, there was more of that notion of, like, this is supposed to entertain people and not, like, remind them of the problems that they had. Whereas afterwards, there was kind of this sentiment. I mean, it's even kind of covered in what the producers say. And I think it's kind of what makes Kamen Rider as a series so strong. That notion of kind of, like, actively confronting some of the anxieties that your audience is going to have while watching your show, and kind of trying to, transform them into something else to, like, use as a way for them to sort of help, like, work through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely power in escapism, but I have so very much respect for things that want to very explicitly say, hey, we understand that this is a struggle for people, so we're going to talk about it.
It's not an easy thing to do, and it's certainly not an easy thing to do while still making a good, entertaining show. And for my money, I would say they achieved it pretty successfully. I would definitely put Kuuga up there as far as Kamen Riders that I have watched. It's really a very good series, as I'm sure you all now have experienced a chunk of. I don't have anything more specific I want to say right now in regards to that. Just that, they do a good job of, like, still making sure it is a good watch, but, kind of commenting on the state of things, if that makes sense. Which, I guess, with that being said, now we should comment on the state of these episodes. So,
heck yeah,
we're changing up things just a little bit, specifically in that we are doing bigger batches. So we are going to be talking about not the first 2, but the first 4 episodes of Kamen Rider Kuuga. That is Revival, which aired January 30th, 2000. Transformation, which aired February 6th, 2000. Tokyo, which aired February 13th, 2000. And Sprint, which aired February 20th, 2000. I think, unless anyone has anything they want to add additionally specifically, are we ready to just go ahead and get on right into it?
I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. Well, actually, hold on. Sorry. I guess I just wanted to, with this new change of format, is there anything new that people want to say that they're doing for this, We obviously, our features and stuff are going to be taking a pretty radical shift.
Yeah.
with this new thing. But has anybody been trying something out?
I do, and I'm not sure if I necessarily want to make this a segment, but especially after that little blurb, that little sneak preview that I showed you, I would definitely like to talk with you about some of the choreography that we get to, and I actually did take a few notes specifically during some of the fight scenes about some things I noticed, and I recognize it is not necessarily a segment I can do myself, because you commented on the preview I sent, and I saw stuff that I didn't even notice in your comment. So I was like, oh, wow, Shakes has a good eye for this sort of thing that I recognize I do not. So I would definitely love to talk to you about some of the way they do the fights, because I was kind of trying to look at them through the eye of what you said after I had read that comment, and it did kind of color my experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole fight scene environment is interesting for a variety of reasons beyond just the actual clip that we watched. But yeah, I think going forward, I definitely want to pay more attention to that. I don't think I did for this first batch.
That's fair.
Because slightly under time crunch, but also I was actually kind of enamored with like literally everything else about this show.
There's so much about Kuuga that's so good, is the thing.
I'm very excited. I have personally been trying to consistently watch these with my girlfriend, Ellie, and she has a variety of her own observations. I've been occasionally recording them. So we might get a couple bonus comments, and she's also dug up a couple bits of information, which have been very interesting.
Certainly love to get more comments from Ellie on what she thinks.
But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that.
We'll get to that when we get to that. But for now, we're going to go ahead and slide on through the first episode, which we will no longer be having plot synopses done by yours truly, because this is a series that is modern enough for people to have put a plot synopsis on the wiki. Thanks,
for people to give a shit.
I thought about saying it, but I was like, I'm sure people give a shit about Ichigo. It's just,
There's also a
Not
plot.
enough of one.
Also, more importantly, there is a plot to Kuuga.
Yeah, if you notice our format change, it's kind of because there's actually a cohesive, like, thing through these 4 episodes that doesn't exist in an Ichigo.
Yeah, look,
so
I love
nice.
Ichigo to death, but it is a problem. We can't spend, like, the first half of this episode just dunking on Ichigo.
Takeshi Hongo, I love you. I will always love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think there is more symbolism in the opening of Kuuga than in all of Ichigo.
Yeah, right?
I mean, a little bit.
Right? Here's the thing, and I'm doing this too because this is basically my first note, and I wanted to point it out. Ichigo was charmingly low budget. We all acknowledge this.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see something with that exact same mindset of a completely different generation of special effects.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, the year 2000, baby.
The green filters.
Yeah,
walking the camera around.
Special effects plywood has been upgraded to the green screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are using her.
It's prolific.
It's
incredible.
It's so good.
Fats and I watched these episodes together. And I remember telling him after the watch that like these just put me in a good mood because of these these effects. Like I have multiple
it's so
notes
charming.
that are
It's
just
nostalgic.
like, oh, this is so wonderful. I love this. This is great.
Yeah,
I'm
it
of
feels
the-
good.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that tokusatsu shows should always look a little shitty.
Yes.
And I'm glad this lives up to it in its own generation of shitty. Like nowadays we got like a lot more versatile CGI, and it's bugging me because I don't think it looks bad enough anymore.
It depends on what you're watching.
It depends, but some Toku clips I've seen, it's like, this doesn't look bad enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it either needs to look
I need
impeccable
more rubber.
or needs to look like garbage.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
It needs to look like you had a maximum budget of $100.
And half of it went to lunch.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how it is.
I like bananas.
And the other half of it went to one of the suits, but not the other suit.
Well, of course, you
That's
get for
the
it
next
hand-me-downs.
Yeah, of course.
So should we talk about the opening then, since we've already alluded to it so much?
Hell yeah, let's absolutely talk. This is
This song.
up there as far as Kamen Rider OPs for me. This song
Yeah.
rules.
This song is like kind of the epitome of extremely cheesy things that I unironically love.
Oh, it's so 2000s. It's so
the
2000s.
corniest song. Yeah.
There are parts where I just do genuinely start kind of head bobbing, head banging.
Yeah.
There's like a part where the drums hit just right, and I'm just like,
It's the fucking drop for me.
Yeah.
The and I'm like, yeah.
God, it's so what a fun. Also, given that like half of the intro, maybe not half, maybe a little less, but a surprising amount of the intro compared to like what we've seen with Ichigo actually seemed to be show clips.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but just in a way that surprised me. It kind of felt like
I think they made a couple. There's definitely a couple that are exclusively just for the opening, but they made it seem like it's stuff that would be in the show. But like, you know, because they do the thing like with the ending credits of Ichigo with like I'm just fighting some monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I remember very specifically there's a scene where we see like Kuuga in the burning church though.
Yeah. The
for sure.
Episode.
Like, yeah.
I mean, that's just a
absolutely.
cool shot though.
It's such
Yeah.
a
I
good
would
shot.
use it.
I didn't mean to contradict. I just meant to add that it's like it's a mix of that, and we made some clips.
And we made some.
Just for the opening.
Yeah,
You
there's
get to see that cricket get punched in the gut every time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fight scene where he's between I think he's between the cricket and the rhino, and that I'm just gonna spoil this for you now. That shit doesn't happen in the show.
No.
So there are definitely some clips that were made specifically for the opening. It's a good opening.
So that's fun. What a way to get hype.
What a way to get hype.
Like, I've said this so many times in my notes, but like the music is so good.
Yeah.
Just all of it is just so good. I don't, and the opening is no exception. It's just
The score in Kuuga is really good, and rewatching these episodes again, I got to have a realization, although I don't think I actually put it in this first set of notes, but I never realized how much they use the same leitmotif for their music, like the first time I went through it. But the it's the same song that they use for like the fight scenes and like the first time he transforms, and I think it's actually part of the opening as well. And my brain can't bring the tune to mind right now, but they intersplice it, you know, that little melody into a lot of like even just the kind of backing music for the show, and it's really good.
yeah.
Like pretty much every time like Godai has like a significant moment, you can hear that tune play, and I think it's very cool.
I really like that they tease the various color forms just right in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't spoil enough about them to feel like it's truly spoiling anything for you, but just enough of a taste where, like, if I were watching this as a kid, I'd be like, what's that? What's that? What's he gonna...
I gotta know. That one's purple. What is
Why is it
happening?
purple? What does
Purple?
it mean?
Green?
I love green. Favorite color.
Him Green?
Green.
I do love Green.
Excellent. Incredible. Is that the intro?
I think that's the intro.
That's our entire podcast.
Excellent.
I think that's the episode name.
Green?
Yeah, I think it's episode 49 or whatever. Green.
Green.
Green?
Oh shit! I forgot to say that at the beginning. What episode is this?
47, I believe.
47. Welcome to episode 47 of Long-Time Watcher, First-Time Writer. Sorry about that, everybody.
Welcome.
Assuming by the time this gets posted, we commit to that numbering scheme. I guess we gotta. Right.
I mean,
We have
there
to
was
go.
ideas because of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know. It's a new hero. It's a new legend. I don't know.
It's a new hero, it's a new legend. I don't know if we
We
want it
can
to
do
be a new
anything.
numbering system.
We can do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
We can even become God.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well.
Anyway, let me
Anyway,
finally get into the plausible about this here Kamen Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Here we go. The plot begins with a flashback showing Riku, the original Kuuga, fighting many Grogi in his 4 basic forms. After defeating all the Grogi, Riku is shown sealing himself away in a sarcophagus. In the present day, a group of archaeologists find Riku's sarcophagus, and as the researchers open the sarcophagus, they comment on how they can't believe something like it was made in Japan. The mummified Riku's
Kuuga
hand...
fucked so good. Put the pussy in the Scarmago. Sorry.
Oh, I love this podcast.
Were we supposed
I had to exercise it.
Were we supposed to know his name?
I don't
at this
think we
point?
were. Because I
don't
didn't
think
even
we-
know his name was Riku until reading this. I was like, who the fuck is Riku?
He's just Riku Kingdom Hearts in my head now.
Yeah, oh, fuck.
Ichigo!
Oh, this
It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
Bugs. What?
Okay, well, enjoy that mental image.
Yeah, enjoy the mental image of Kamen Rider
Enjoy
Kingdom
the,
Hearts.
the 3 mental images we just gave.
Yeah.
God. In any case.
In any case, the mummified Riku's hand then twitches, but this goes unnoticed by the group. This
Don't worry about it.
plot synopsis has timestamps. New Tokyo International
Whoa.
Airport, 4:05 p.m. Bullshit!
Oh, yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! No, the fucking...
Right, the episodes themselves.
The episodes have
Yeah.
timestamp. I don't understand.
I thought...
Does it really?
Yeah, I thought you meant the timestamps within the episode. That would have... Like, this occurs at 3 minutes 54 seconds in the episode.
Oh, no.
That would have been crazy.
No, I was talking about those, yeah, the new... I forgot they were in the episode for some reason.
Yeah, remember, like...
They're so
like,
cool.
it keeps it up. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, could they not afford establishing shots? Is that the way they do that?
No.
Maybe they just
Probably
didn't
not,
want to
actually.
shoot them.
They didn't want to shoot establishing shots, so they put timestamps over everything. Like it's that fucking NWO Resurgence episode of SmackDown. There's a fucking deep cut. Anyways.
I just love it. It's very corny.
I mean, to be fair, it serves the show well because it allows them to keep the plot going at a pretty good click.
It serves its purpose. It's just when I first saw them start popping up, it's like, why? Should I be keeping track? No, you're just kind of trying to give me a
Gotta go fast and get the information
Just
across.
trying to give
I
me
enjoy-
a general timescape, I guess.
Yeah,
I enjoy it because it tells me where we are every time. And as a non-native Japanese person, I don't know where they are unless I see the... except spoilers in a later episode where they're like, 109, and I'm like, we're in Shibuya, okay.
Yeah, we all know the
but-
nerd place.
We all know the nerd place,
I didn't
because
know
we're
that.
nerds. Why else would we be doing a Kamen Rider podcast?
Yeah, honestly.
Ain't that the truth?
You could be playing like a sport or something.
But yeah,
Oh, what?
I do actually have a note about locations as they keep coming up, which I could give now or later.
Has the location that you would like to talk about come up yet, or?
Technically in the opening, yes.
All right, go for it.
The very opening scene. I had been calling it the Gurongi tomb in my notes. I guess it's Riku's tomb now.
Riku!
Riku, your tomb. And so a lot of these incidents take place around Nagano, because like that's where the tomb is. So a lot of our initial incidents and a lot of our initial conflicts takes place in Nagano, and one of our 3 major characters is from the Nagano Police Department. And I was curious what significance this has. Because Nagano is best known for having one of the biggest, oldest Buddhist temples in Japan, and it also has like a lot of other religious sites.
Neat.
So it's kind of known for being like a temple town that expanded outward. And I'm also curious if, I do not know if this is more than anything just a reference to her field of work, or if this is because I do remember these kind of just being fashionable at the time. But, one of our main trios has prayer beads as both a phone charm and regularly wears them as a bracelet as well.
Mm.
And I'm just curious if this kind of ties together in any way.
That's a very good question. Yeah, I was not aware about that with Nagano. So I guess, since we're doing 4 episodes, so we can kind of jump around like this and spoil stuff, I do kind of wish now that we had spent a little more time in Nagano. We transfer over to the show pretty much taking place exclusively in Tokyo pretty quickly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As
knowing
our
that now,
episode
it
3
would've been cool
title.
to spend some more time over there.
Ain't got shit to do in Nagano. We gotta hit the big city.
Yeah, they really kind of just immediately left the area.
A little bit. But, I mean, it makes, plot-wise, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's understandable why it happens, but it is still a little upsetting. I remember the thing I just wanted to give a brief reference to, and I realized I never actually made a note about it, but specifically the shot where, we watched the Grongi get resurrected. I love that shot.
Where they reach out and grab the camera in 3D.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that shot.
2000s 3D technology.
I love watching all of the hands come out of the dirt.
Such
it's
good
so
shit.
fucking good. I truly didn't have much more to say about it than that. I just wanted to point at that shot and be like, look at this, it's so good.
It
was
red
very-
and blue lightning.
It was like kind of an Evil Dead shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It was also the first major on-screen incidents of CG in the show, because they're going to be using that pretty heavily. And we're coming right off of Ichigo, so that's just kind of like a new flavor to us entirely.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
CG. That was probably one of the better uses of it in the episodes we have watched so far. Is this very first one because it's like at night and they can just sort of make it look like whatever.
It looks good.
Yeah,
It looks pretty good in the darkness.
I have a note that's later in this episode of just saying that CGI is so bad. It's the best thing I've seen all day. And I still stand by it.
That's
It's so good.
Yeah, that's early Heisei Kamen Rider.
It's just a delight.
As early as it gets.
It's very good. Anyway, let's go back to the new Tokyo International Airport, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
where our boy Yusuke is speaking to you, the viewer, directly.
Oh my god, yes!
I love Yusuke's introduction as a character.
He's such
it's
a fucking
so good.
clown.
He's great. I love Yusuke is. Yusuke is definitely up there for me on the list of Kamen Rider protagonists. He's great. He's such a wonderful character.
Sweet.
Like, I was so close to being like, yeah, I guess we're just gonna talk to the camera now?
Right? I thought, is this Blue's Clues? Like, is Kamen Rider speaking to me directly?
I was so ready for it, though.
I was too. At first, I was a little like, oh, what? And then as he kept talking, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. We can do this.
And then I realized, am I on the ground?
Why am I so short?
You're so tiny. Godai picks you up and juggles you.
Just picks me up like a bowl and just go.
Well, yeah, I guess we spoiled that little part of the synopsis. Yes, he's speaking to a child when we first see him at the airport at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I was going to comment on that. For some reason, on the wiki, it says 4:05 p.m. I think not that dark.
It's how dark it is here.
What if it's just in the tradition of tokusatsu, wherein they extremely say that it's a certain location and time, but they certainly couldn't fund getting that.
We could only do this at night. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's I was going to ask, do you guys remember what the actual in-episode stamp says? Because I could have sworn it was established in that scene.
I'm literally checking right now.
Early morning.
It says, What?
Oh,
It says
you're a
4:05 p.m. when we see a plane land, and then it cuts to Godai speaking to the child, and it is dark.
Yeah, okay, so
winter.
what the fuck?
I guess I don't know when the sun sets in winter in Tokyo.
I feel like 4
Tokyo.
o'clock is...
Sunset
Early.
time, winter.
Listen,
5?
it used to be a lot earlier.
You know, maybe that's not that...
Before the environment.
So apparently the sunset in Tokyo around this time of year, which means that it might be even earlier in winter, is at 5:18 p.m.
Yep.
So it's possible that there's like
Holy
just a very minor time skip from literally getting off the planes and running into a kid in the parking lot.
Which is
It's
yeah,
true.
fair enough. He has to go through security and get his bags and shit.
Could have been an hour earlier.
Yeah.
like it's gotten dark
Security.
around here at like 2 or 3 p.m. But
It's 2000. There's no security in the airport.
True. Yeah.
Wait till next year.
All of a sudden there's going to be a lot of security.
Yeah. But in any case, I guess it's somewhat believable, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so we meet our protagonist, Yusuke Godai. He is helping a young kid who gets lost. He just kind of keeps the kid entertained and happy, and then a cop shows up with his parents, and they head off, and Godai goes to do his thing. I will go ahead and read the thing specifically because we got to talk about his weird thing that he does. So let me just read through this real quick. Outside the airport, Yusuke Godai talks to a young crying boy who lost his parents, saying he always thought guys who could smile through hardships were cool. He then tells the boy about the time he was 8 and got lost on a peak called Annapurna in Nepal. Yusuke then begins juggling, getting the boy to stop crying, and Yusuke gives him a thumbs up. Soon
That's
after,
his thing.
that's his thing.
I love it.
Thumbs up are our thing.
There's a
As
reason
some-
why my last note of the first episode is Dale Kuuga. He's the Dale Cooper of Kamen Riders. His thing is him thumb up.
Thumb up good.
Thumb
Wait.
up good.
no, I can't go on this tangent. Never mind.
Okay.
I cannot wait for the emotional beats that will surely come later on in the series with this thumb up being so firmly established from early on.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it in the first episode, but boy, was it quickly becoming
No, they
visible.
they do a good job of establishing early on that the thumbs up is Godai's thing, and then they also do a very good job of establishing that it is uniquely Godai. Like, this isn't a thing that everybody is doing. This is
Nobody
this is
thumbs
his
up
thing.
at me.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world does a thumb up at me.
Yeah, people definitely do it, but it's only in response to him, and I like that it seems to thus far be almost like a symbol of acknowledgement of Godai.
A little bit, yeah.
Nobody thumbs up him except in scenes where they're getting this idea across that they have a good understanding of one another.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting with two characters specifically, which we'll get into later, have arcs about that, and it ends with a thumbs up with Godai.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I love it.
I really like how they're using the thumbs up both as a character and narrative piece so far. It's so refreshing to see Ichigo, or go from Ichigo to go from Kuuga, and it's oh, this puts in perspective how little character everyone else in Ichigo had. And it sucks. It really sucks.
Right, people can write characters and have things happen in a show.
Fucked up.
Crazy. I forgot that was possible.
Yeah.
I thought that was just in my esoteric art house movies. But I don't know what to do with this anymore.
Well, speaking of characters,
Speaking of characters, let's go into the next part of the synopsis. In Tokyo, at Jonan University Archaeology Lab, 11:28 p.m. Hey, that's an Ichigo reference.
Is
I
that
thought
Woo!
that's something that I
I didn't
did.
catch that one.
Is that the time where he got cyborged?
That's the school that Hanga goes to.
Aw.
Jonan University.
Oh, hey.
That's cute.
he's the headmaster now.
I think,
Yeah, right?
I was gonna say, I think there's actually a line like way later on in Kuuga where they do imply that Hongo is a teacher at Jonan University.
Oh,
I believe that is actually a thing. I don't remember 100%, so I might be pulling that directly out of my ass, but I
time to
believe it is
study
a thing.
abroad.
That if that has, I have so many questions.
That's very fair because Kamen Rider plays very fast and loose with its own continuity.
Well, because
Yeah, but
like, first of all, I am expecting 100% continuity throughout the entire 70-year run or 50-year run.
Obviously.
And
obvious.
yeah, no detail should be changed at all. It needs to all have been planned. But on a more important thing of why that would confuse me is because, with that being a Kamen Rider or an Ichigo reference, and with this being like a 30th year thing, and with the whole ideas of like the legends are meant to be rewritten from the opening lyrics, it very much feels like on a meta-narrative level they are rewriting what Kamen Rider is. And like I can't really put that into like more than just this is what it is for me, because there's quite a bit of Kamen Rider I have yet to watch in between that. But I think it's still interesting, especially with how it kind of makes allusions to the originals in the first few episodes that we've seen so far.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah,
that is definitely something we'll get into more.
Getting the context that they were really trying to prep for a 30th anniversary revival makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like when you're prepping for that shit, you bust out all the hits and the dedications to the original that you can. And this is actually quite reserved on that front, but there's some distinct figures.
I think it's reserved
Coming up.
in a great way, though.
Yeah, no, it's I'm impressed. It's but they make it clear. They remember some things about Ichigo.
And that's good. Everybody should remember some things about Ichigo.
There are only some things to remember about Ichigo.
Yeah. There's only so much in there to remember, so you might as well hold on. So, Tokyo, Jonan University Archaeology Lab, 11:28 p.m. Sakurako Sawatori is shown examining photos of Riku's sarcophagus on her computer. Her big old chunk-ass CRT 90s Windows 95-ass desktop.
I love the
that
year
shit.
2000.
It's so good.
Truly, there was my first watch through of Kuuga. Like every time we went back to Jonan University and I got to see the computer set up, I just got happy brainworms. Then I remembered playing Command and Conquer on my old family computer with the fucking Windows 95.
Every single bit of technology in the show makes me long.
Oh, the phones.
The phones.
It fills me with such longing. The phones, the radios, the TVs. Like,
Boombox.
It's so good.
yeah, that boombox.
Even newspapers a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
A chunky ass GPS.
Yeah.
It's all just so goddamn good.
It's so good. I kind of unironically want to like take one of those like 90s 2000s computer covers or computer cases and put all the modern parts in it.
That would be so good. I've actually got
Give yourself
something
a disk drive.
like vaguely similar on my own PC setup. I was just like browsing Amazon randomly one day and I saw a metallic keyboard, but it's colored like those old like beige and brown like keyboards. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm buying that the second I have the money. And so that is my main keyboard I use now. It's all beige and it's got the like slightly darker brown keys for like shift and control and stuff. But also it's covered in rainbow lights because it's a metallic keyboard and it do the good click clack and I love it so much.
What an insane combination of aesthetics. I love
That's
it.
It's so fucking good.
like terrible in the best way possible.
I love this keyboard so much.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Anyway, now that we're done being nostalgic,
We weren't.
we will never be done.
We need to continue, but
Yeah, she was examining pictures on a sarcophagus. She answers the telephone. The person on the other end of the line is named Makoto. Sakura tells him that she's busy deciphering ancient texts from the Kurogatake ruins and tells Makoto that other civilizations may have had similar texts. At this point, Sakurako's co-worker leaves, leaving her alone in the office. Sakurako then tells Makoto that the inscription isn't related to a curse. A masked figure then climbs up the vines on the outside of the building, climbs in the window, and sneaks up behind her.
I forgot how early in this episode we still were, and how Yusuke is just a complete fucking freak.
Like, one of my earliest notes in the second episode is, Godai sure loves B&E, don't he? Godai, think you gotta know about him? He loves to break and enter.
It's a fun character trait, and these two really give off the vibes of childhood friends in a way I really love, where their life trajectories are very different, but they have such a casual vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was
they play it really well.
mm-hmm.
I don't remember what episode I put this note on, but I remember making a note talking about, and again, this is just going to be spoiling stuff for the future, but I don't really care about that too much. But I really like that they don't ever try to do, they never force any kind of a romance angle between Godai and Sawatari. They're just friends.
That's the Odagiri effect.
I mean, you might know more than me. I don't know. I don't know if I can say that's accurate to the vibe I was getting from many of these episodes, but whatever.
I mean, so that's the
We'll
thing.
get
It's like
to that. We'll get to that.
It's very obvious that, like, she cares about him, and he obviously cares about her, but, like, it doesn't really go too much farther beyond that. They are just, like, you know, obviously each person is important to the other. They've probably been friends for a really long time. It doesn't go, and maybe I'm viewing this through a specific certain lens, but at least I felt like during my first watch through that they never go beyond to try and, like, make, you know, Godai and Sawatari a thing. And I appreciated that. I like that she was able to kind of just be a character on her own, and that she didn't have to also exist in the lens of being a potential romance interest.
Imagine, she has a personality and a career.
Oh, yeah, I wrote this down in a later set, but man, spoilers, the people who aren't Kamen Rider do shit. It's kind of insane.
It's wonderful.
Kuuga has such a great supporting cast. I love so many of these characters. Probably one of the best supporting casts in Kamen Rider, especially because it is really refreshing that, hey, spoiling more stuff, but this is mostly just for comparison's sake. Godai is our only person to ever transform. He is our only Kamen Rider throughout the entirety of Kuuga. He's the only guy who gets a belt and turns into a weird bug-armored freak. And, you know, like other Heisei Kamen Riders will get really good supporting cast members, but usually, and they're usually pretty easy to pick out, one or two of them are going to end up becoming Kamen Riders themselves. You know, people are going to get belts, forms are going to be made, toys are going to be produced. And it is really super enjoyable how well they flesh out the supporting cast of Kuuga and allow them to be really, like, useful and central to Godai's success without having to give them belts. It's something that I really enjoy about Kuuga.
Because here's the simple fact. Yusuke has negative 500 IQ.
Oh, yeah.
So all of his crew are people with brains.
Yes.
super geniuses
It-
have to support
Not even.
the guy with powers.
Yeah, basically.
Not even super geniuses. They are
Yeah.
normal amounts of smart.
That's my note. I wrote something about Sakurako Sawatari, and I don't know if this feeling is going to last, but this was kind of my initial impression. Sawatari is, unfortunately for her, the most normal person of the bunch.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
But I also wrote that she keeps up well with the weirder habits of other characters. And I also kind of enjoy that she has a character trait that I'm pretty endeared to, which is the kind of characters that kind of openly complain about constantly getting ridiculous tasks put on them, but they always still reliably pull through anyway.
Yeah, it is very
you gotta
refreshing
congrats.
that, like, people ask her to do insane shit, and, like, she does it, but she also bitches about it.
Yeah, like, they're like,
Come
hey,
on.
do this. Yeah, and she's like, geez, come on. Really? I don't... And then she shows up the next day and she's like, here.
Yeah, I
love
did
that.
it.
I love that for her.
Sakurako is a really good character
Yeah.
from what I've seen so far, and I'm very happy to see her all the time.
Yeah.
She also sleeps like Batman, which is terrifying. Which is to say, like, 3 hours a week and functions perfectly fine that way.
Good lord, woman.
She's a machine. Insanely
She's
powerful.
not normal.
We love that for her, though.
Yeah.
I have, like, her overall tropes that she follows so far are just so much my vibes. I very much enjoy her as a character. It's... I want to see what happens to her, and hopefully that she doesn't die.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I was gonna
Spoiled
say, I
enough,
will-
Fats. I wanted to complain about this love angle until I get happily surprised.
Well, I
Not
apologize
really.
for
I'm going
ruining
to
that
make
for
fun
you.
of it, though. I'm going to make fun of it, though.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Speaking of people to make fun of,
Speaking of people to make fun of,
Yeah.
so yeah, Matt's figure, he sneaks up behind old Sawatari. Before turning around, Sakurako tells the masked figure, who she knows to be Yusuke Godai, not to come in through the window.
Fuck's sake, man.
Yeah. Yusuke then asks Sakurako about climbing the building, and she retorts with the fact that people will complain to them about him scaling the building. Yusuke then gives Sakurako the mask he was wearing, saying that it is a souvenir from Indonesia, and that it works as a talisman. Sakura asks Yusuke if he wants coffee, but he says he can't because he was headed to the Kurogatake ruins. However, at that moment...
There's actually, sorry, the mask thing reminded me of something I noticed later, is a nice detail in the set of that office that Sakurako always uses is there's a wall with a line of masks on it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a great little, like, oh, this has been a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, love the implication. Of course, that Godai brings her all the masks. It's so fun. It more childhood friends vibes.
It's very, very good. There are so many good, like, subtle details in Kuuga is the thing. They do a good job of kind of, like, using world building to kind of establish relationships as well, beyond just, like, outright explicitly saying things. Because, like, yeah, that's the thing you think about, like, throughout the entirety of, you know, as far as we've gotten so far in the first episode, they have never actually said explicitly that Godai and Sakurako are friends. Heck, we barely even get an introduction to Sakurako. I don't think we find out her name until Godai shows up. But it's just, you know, their body language and the way that they talk to each other and everything, you just immediately get that, oh, okay, they know each other quite well. Without having to, you know, explicitly spell it out. And I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, no,
Chef's kiss.
it's again such a difference from Ichigo because we're like, wait a minute, Mari and Goro were siblings?
God, yeah.
And it's like,
Until he
Yuri?
turned out to actually be Yuri's sibling.
yeah,
Oops.
And it's just like, we were with that kid for like 15 episodes, 20 episodes. How do we not know basic stuff?
That might have been on us to an extent.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little.
I feel like we pick it up, maybe. I don't know. The point is, I'm glad that Kuuga doesn't do it anymore.
I am very much so enjoying, people cutting in and having so much to say about the episode, but as a result, it is making reading the plot go slowly. So
apologies.
No need to apologize. I was just going to say, in the interest of time, would people be okay with, instead of just reading out the plot verbatim, kind of just summarizing things as they happen?
Yeah, sure.
It's probably not a bad tack.
Okay, yeah. So Godai shows up at the university. He has this conversation with Sakurako. He says that he is going to go meet up with the people at the ruins. Sakurako gets a mention on the computer, translating one of the glyphs from the ruins and seeing that two of the glyphs from the ruins, seeing one means death and the other means warning. She goes to try and call the excavation team to tell them about it, but they're, she doesn't get a response. We cut back to the excavation team where we see that they are having some equipment malfunction. Can you tell I haven't podcasted in several months? Yes. They are having equipment malfunctions. Because they are being assaulted by some form of shadowy figure. We get some good horror movie classic kind of stuff.
This is genuinely, like, the more they show it, like, they're like recording their final moments in this, and they're like desperately calling the police for help. The police cannot help you.
No. Only trust your fists.
Public service. Only trust your fists. The police cannot help you. But yeah, we're bringing the horror back. Yeah. The monsters, they're here. It's great.
The monsters are fucking here. We'll talk about that more as we go forward. But the monsters, they are here.
Gasp.
So we watch them get attacked, and I realize now at this point that scene that I mentioned earlier, because I thought it was previously. Yeah, it happens now. So we watch whoever this shadowy figure is that attacked the excavation team resurrect a bunch of hands for dastardly Thing is the name of the hand servant in Adam's Family, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dastardly thing-based purposes.
That would be so funny if they were just hands.
It would be so funny if they were just hands. And we cut to the next morning where we are watching the police and a mountain rescue team investigate the site and try to figure out, like, what the heck is going on? Because this site is insane. This is also where we get introduced to one of our other supporting cast members, a member of the I can't remember what the area is called.
Nagano?
Thank you, Nagano. Police Department, Kaoru Ichigo. So Ichigo is at the scene. He is trying to investigate. And I really enjoy this bit. Fucking Godai just tries to sneak in.
Yeah, twice.
Well, look over there.
Yeah, twice.
It's great. I would be remiss not to mention his business card.
Yes, we gotta talk about the business card.
He has a business card wherein he is a self-proclaimed dream chaser, and it has a little drawing in the corner that has like a cartoon face with the same little beauty mark he has on his chin and a thumbs up. And on the other side, it says that he has 999 skills.
It says he has 1,999 skills.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,999 skills, which... great. It's... Remember his business card.
Remember his
It's
business
so
card.
good.
This will come up one more time later, probably.
It will. And it's
At least two
supremely
more
good.
times.
Yeah, Inspector Kaoru Ichigo. What a guy, what a dude, what a cool dude with cool moves.
Yeah.
He's such a loser, and I love that.
No, man, this guy is the coolest and hottest man in the world.
I mean, they want him to be, is the thing, and that's why I think he's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But on a sincere note, I do like him.
I love Ichigo.
Ichigo is a lot of fun. He has kind of a warm-up period of getting there, but like it's good. It's not like just an immediate arc. Like this is the meet cute. And we're
Yeah, a little bit.
These two are gonna get to know each other very well over the course of the next few episodes.
It's
like the what an impression he makes is like, you know, he does that thing that a lot of cop characters do when, you know, they're the big important like inspector detective or whatever, wherein everybody else is just dressed as, you know, in the cop blues, and he shows up in the trench coat and the sunglasses, so you know he's like the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy in charge here.
Big ass trench coat. That trench coat is fucking huge on him.
Yeah, I guess that was the style at the time, but yeah. And then they have him like, so when Godai like is like, oh, look over there, and he tries to sneak in, he gets tripped by Inspector Ichigo and then caught before he hits the ground by the back of his shirt, which is just what a power move.
Yeah,
I respect it.
Ichigo is good folk. I am definitely a big fan of Ichigo.
He definitely has a lot of that energy of in this first episode of the guy who hears someone say something stupid and he has to take a moment to process it all the time.
It is truly, it's a dynamic is truly old this time, right? Like, it's the very serious guy and the fucking moron. Like, and he just has to deal with that. Because the moron's right.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
Yeah, and Godai's so unfazable, too. Like, when he gets tripped, he's not like, darn, you stopped him. He's like, oh, cool moves.
Yeah, like, he was so impressed. It was love at first sight, truly.
It really was.
Like, honestly. They're so gay.
We haven't even gotten to, like, the actual super gay
No.
parts.
It's going to get gayer, but they're already pretty goddamn gay.
Is this
It is.
the scene where you wrote, damn, hey fellas, is it gay? Or something like that?
I don't think this is the scene where I wrote fellas, is it gay? I think that, that might have been
I think
a
I
later
know exactly.
I feel like it's so applicable.
I think I didn't start really going into the overtones of my notes until episode 3.
It was episode 2 for me. That was my last note of the episode, and we'll get to that.
Oh, never mind, it is exactly.
Oh, right! Yeah, I forgot about the end of episode 2!
Alright, we gotta get there. We gotta get there,
We gotta get there, yeah.
Alright.
Jesus
now
Christ.
Now that we've got our main trio introduced.
Yeah, now that we've got our main trio. So, as you would expect, Ichigo, he doesn't, like, formally arrest Godai, per se. He kind of just, like, takes him away. So we head on over to the Nagano Prefectural Police Headquarters. Yusuke meets up with old Sakurako because he sends... I'm sorry. I forgot something important that does happen that should be highlighted. Someone who is exploring, like, the ruins and trying to, like, figure out what happened at the crime scene pulls out the belt, and he's got it, like, wrapped in a, like an evidence bag. And Godai, like, sees this, and he clocks this, and he... At some point, he takes down one of the runes that's on it, and he faxes it to... God, what a sentence to say. He faxes it to Sakurako.
Remember faxing?
Do you remember faxing?
No.
No! Anyway, he faxes it to Sakurako to see if she can translate it. So... she meets up with him outside of the police department with a translation, and then, surprisingly, they both run into Ichigo because Ichigo was hoping to speak with Sakurako as well. They bring Sakurako and Godai into the police department where they show them pretty much the only real piece of evidence they have, which is the video of the excavation team being murdered. That's cool.
Found
That's
footage, horrific stuff.
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project, that shit.
More unsettling the more they show it, and they keep showing it. It's actually kind of troubling.
I had the distinct feeling that if I saw that as a kid, that video would really frighten me.
Probably. It's they don't pull punches with the they give it the proper horror performance that it deserves. Truly a highlight being the very last girl who is on the phone trying to call for the police and call for help. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing you hear from that video is her screaming.
Your performances were too good. I know that's not a good complaint. It's just, it's unsettling in a way where I'm like, this is a children's show.
But it's also an adult show is the thing.
I'm finding myself thinking that sentiment a lot, though, while I'm watching the show, and we'll definitely get more into it later, I'm sure.
It's true.
The sentiment of, this is a kid's show!
Yeah, this Kuuga probably has, the most, this is a kid's show shit in it of, any, I don't know about any Kamen Rider, just because there are a lot I haven't seen, but there is a lot of stuff. I mean, truly just, the whole premise of what Kuuga is about is extremely this is a kid's show.
Fear.
Yeah,
pain.
Fear, pain, awe.
Well, there's no fear. And there's no pain. So.
No fear. No pain.
Yeah.
New
Let's
hero.
go.
A new legend.
New legend.
Child friendly.
Super
for kids.
transformation.
Kamen Rider is
Cho
back, baby.
transformation. Cho
Henshin.
Cho Henshin.
We've upgraded our engines.
Yeah, fuck regular henshins. We Cho Henshin now.
Yeah, he's the one in Danganronpa. I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit.
Oh, super high school level Kamen Rider.
Oh,
Christ.
fuck.
Is that Forze?
Maybe.
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
Alright, meanwhile at the police station.
Meanwhile, at the police station.
Hey, see this horrible footage.
Yeah, so we watched some terrible footage. Ichigo has to leave for a cop thing.
Ichigo.
Did I? I keep
Kamen
calling
Rider
Ichigo.
Ichigo.
Yeah, it's Ichigo. I'm sorry.
I get
Ichigo
it,
has to leave for a cop thing, and the last thing we see of old Yusuke and Sakurako is Godai asks her, "Hey, what did that glyph that I faxed you mean anyway?" And she's like, "Oh, it means power. Love power. Love to have power." So we got.
I always wanted to date a girl called the Power.
Looks at Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I know, right? Every time I watch, I think
Yeah.
of that clip.
Stupid regular show clip. In any case, oh my goodness, events.
Yeah, Southern Nagano City.
Shit's about to go down.
Yeah, a man has fallen in the river in Southern Nagano City.
Oh, I gotta help.
No, the officers are responding to a disturbance. There's a big-ass spider web just, in between two skyscrapers. What the hell would even make something like that? Well, I'll tell you.
The
exactly
Spider-Man
what.
2 poster.
It's viral marketing. Let's go home.
It's... have you y'all remember that, right? I think it was actually the first Spider-Man Sam Raimi movie.
Yes.
Had marketing material leading up to it that involved two giant webs between the World Trade Center and
I do
capturing
remember
helicopters in it. Oh
Wow.
Oh,
no, I didn't
that's some
know that.
yeah stuff you couldn't do anymore.
I didn't have TV, and I also live where I live, so...
that had to get pulled so fast.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
we got another Spider-Man as our first adversary. What a fun callback.
Yeah, I love that our first bad guy is a Spider-Man. And I
They
love
give us
the way he
1-2
looks.
on it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that.
Also,
yeah.
cool little bonus of the synopsis is we get his name. We never find out his actual name in the show. He is referred to only as unidentified lifeform number 1, but his actual Grongi name is Zugumunba.
Sure, why not?
Zugumunba.
Yeah, I will spell that for you, y'all. It's XU.GMUN.BA.
Dot?
I was not ready for dot.
That's how like all of the Grongi names are stylized. There's like little
They're
dots
URLs?
in between. I mean, I think they're dots here in the formatting of the wiki, but they're supposed to be like dashes,
like a hyphin.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyway,
they're all
Spider-Man.
kind of like sectioned off like that. I think it's very cool.
Spider-Man loves violence.
Spider-Man loves violence. Is the
This
thing.
dude's going crazy. Like, it's a lot of like stuff that seemed very familiar, special effects wise, but they went nuts with it, and especially with the green screen.
Mm-hmm. They definitely do some shit with a green screen in this episode.
Oh, doggy. Because we're swinging.
We are swinging because we're a Spider-Man. So the police get attacked by Zugumunba, and he just goes fucking hog wild on these cops.
Yeah.
And B,
Yes.
I hope you appreciate, this is why I said no death count for this series.
Yeah, now that I've started watching, I truly understand your sentiments because
I was like,
occasionally
I'm not doing that to you.
Yeah, occasionally we get numbers of casualties, but
Yeah, they do it for us.
killed. It's not consistent enough for me to feel like I won't be able to. I can't keep up. They're dropping like flies.
Like literal flies.
The Grongi are so fucking lethal, it's insane.
So
And like
terrifying.
they don't have mooks, so we can't catch up. It sucks.
Yeah, it would be insanely one-sided. We'd get to like episode 9 and like the Grongi would have like 300 or 400 kills.
Right?
By barely any exaggeration, sincerely, it's horrific. Really, there's going to be no cops left in Japan within the first like dozen episodes.
Ellie and I were talking about that at a certain point, like I think like episode 6 or something, where it's just like, you guys gonna run out.
Run out
at some point.
You better figure something out, homie. You gonna run out, my man. we gotta get going. We're still on the first episode.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
We gotta pick it up. So, Zugumunba's path of destruction leads him back to the police station where he's going hog wild.
Where they genuinely crash a car into a building.
That shot rules!
That was awesome.
It was so fucking cool. Yes, this dude crashes a police car into the goddamn police station and just jumps off it and is like, and now I'm going to murder more cops. Yeah.
I honestly was rooting for him a little.
Fair.
Also, Spider-Man got a Rhodian ass mouth.
His mouth moves. It's so cool.
Like, I mentioned that as
It's
well.
horrifying.
Because I'm like, this probably isn't worth noting for anyone who's been watching the series up until then. But, like, we had Lion Mantis.
Ugh.
That was our bar.
Yeah. And we fucking cleared it.
Yeah. Just
easy.
I love the visual design philosophy behind the Grongi just as a race.
Mm-hmm.
They have such a great look to them, especially as villains.
Bunch of fucked up guys.
There is one later that I feel like belongs in like a Blade movie more than Kamen Rider, but
We shall get to that.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
They've been so quite good though.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about Spider-Man's design a bit more explicitly?
We might as well. Yeah, let's talk about.
Well,
let me actually go see if I can get y'all a picture of old Spider-Man so we can do it just like we used to.
Oh, Spidey Man. He's got he's got a sad little mohawk, but I'm endeared to it. It's like 2 inches long. He's got
sorry.
he has 6 eyes.
I was looking for just like a regular picture, and I got fucking concept art.
Wow. Oh, cool.
Nelly.
Look at this. Look at this shit. Oh, that's so good.
He has these appendages that come out like at the side of his ears. This concept art is if you just Google it, you'll probably find it, but this concept art is just the suit. This is not like uniquely like a separate concept that didn't get used.
Yeah, no, this is definitely just the suit.
Accurate.
It's just like, it's cool that I was able to find concept art, you know?
Imagine that made of rubber.
Yeah, he's got the
He's got
he's
predator
definitely
knives.
he does have predator like bone knives that come out of the back of his hand. He's dressed in a way that's supposed to imply that he's kind of from an ancient tribe of people. He's got a loincloth. He's got like this kind of woven collar thing.
Yeah, kind of a web necklace thing that he wears. It's very cool.
So, he's got a little armor on his ankles, and he has some wrappings around his forearms.
Carrying the tradition. Yeah, carrying the tradition of Shocker things having championship belts. All the Grongi that I've seen so far have a belt, and it's actually kind of not like by anybody, but like in fiction it's kind of noted. Whenever they die, at least. Spoilers. We're gonna kill some Grongi.
We're gonna kill some Grongi.
But that's like a distinct graphic they always use whenever they die, is that their belt breaks, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's vibes. We're carrying vibes into new eras, which I like a lot.
Love the vibes in this show, really.
The vibes in the show are immaculate.
But yeah, his mouth moves. It's gross.
It
so
rolls
gross.
and he shoots webs out of his mouth.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's a freak. It's awesome.
He's a freak, and he has a helicopter fight.
I mean, I was about to mention we'll get there. So this guy, he busts into the police station. He starts doing a hell of a lot of murders, and Godai's like, okay, well, I gotta do something. And that weird stone belt that I saw earlier has been like talking to my brain. So maybe if I put it on, something good will happen. And the good thing that happens is him burned himself real fucking bad.
Oh fuck!
Ow.
This isn't good at all.
My boy fucks himself up.
It's awesome.
It's so
the
good.
The body horror of the Kuuga belt is amazing, and we don't get to get into the details of that for a few episodes, so I won't either. But like, it's awesome. It's like everything we talked about Ichigo actually said out loud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad that we didn't get to watch the fusion happen. And it just has to be a sound effect and a scream, and then Sawatari being like, I didn't just watch that shit happen.
Where'd my belt go?
But I do love the aftermath, though. Just the big ass burn in his sweater, and just his reddened fucking fucked up skin on his stomach, and him just being like, oh my god, I am in so much pain. And then Zugum and Bob being like, oh, so you're Kuuga now. I'm gonna do me a murder, I think.
Yeah, it's time to fucking fight.
Yeah, come get
That's
some,
what we do.
bitch.
Kuuga,
you mark-ass motherfucker, you think I forgot you?
I don't know who it is. Help me.
I don't know who Kuuga is, man.
What's a Kuuga? Oh, God. I love...
Just whipped around.
Yeah, he gets his ass kind of whipped around and then kind of like instinctively starts figuring something out. Mm-hmm. And we get a thing that like truly marked a shift of going like, oh, this is something else.
Yeah.
This show is something else as he starts transforming while punching.
Yeah.
Good.
I love Kuga's first transformation
piece by piece.
Much. It is
transformation
so
through
cool.
violence.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool. And then he's Kamen Rider White.
Yes, I love that him have baby form. He's
Yeah,
baby.
It's cute.
Yeah, like a Digimon.
And Spider-Man makes fun of him, and he's like, "Your horns
Exactly.
are smaller than I remember."
Yeah.
What are you, a
looking
nerd?
like you look like shit, white boy. Come here. And then he gives him a big fucking clothesline in the episode ends.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I was like, oh damn, my man ate that line.
Yeah. That's one of the few actual fight moves I was making note of at the time. Just
Yeah.
like insane lines from Spider-Man.
My man goes for it. And then we get ourselves a pretty extensive and very fun fight scene. Kuuga tries to run Zugumunba over with a truck by pushing it into him.
It's so good. Breaks him through the wall, to which his response was, "Heh, that's nothing," and he just does it back.
Yeah, he's like, let me show you how to push a truck, kid.
It's
Oh, fuck.
so good.
Zugumunba hogties him like 4 times. Like, that man's web lives around Godai's neck.
They really... Yeah, they do such a great job of establishing the strength of the Gurongi, because I feel like as a viewer, my expectation a lot of the time is, like, the first time you see a rider, and this is from my inexperience of only seeing Ichigo, half of V301, and, like, the first 15 episodes of Revice before this. So, my expectation is kind of, you see the rider transform, and for the first fight, it's supposed to be kind of a power ride where they're, like, really clumsy and experienced. They're trying to figure out what the hell just happened. And they get to be like, oh, I have the power to fight. This is great. But that's not entirely the case for Godai at all. He's just getting beaten into the ground
Manhandled.
for like
his
10
ass
minutes
whooped.
straight. Like, he's barely surviving this fight. It's difficult to watch. I didn't expect his first transformation to be so close to failure at every moment.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a very good, like, way of kind of telling the story of, like, Godai and how he operates and how, like, the show is going to be, because it is Godai on the back foot for a really long time until he gets assistance from Ichigo, and that helps him, that and his own tenacity allows him to turn the table on things.
That helicopter fight is so fun too.
It's
like,
so fun.
Like it's so fun in the parts where it's we're doing helicopter stunts probably like 5 feet off the ground, but whatever, we're doing some cool shit, and then also occasionally CGI helicopters.
Just
a lot of funny.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
But it's such like a tight space, and they do so much with it. Like especially with Spider-Man's mobility, he's whipping and dipping under the helicopter and coming out the other side.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's this is a great fight.
I've noticed, honestly, just like with all the fights, it feels 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like Ichigo's fights more or less felt like they were just on the same field, but there is this, there's the dynamic kind of energy that Kuuga fights seem to have, and it's really nice to see that kind of, especially when marked with kind of the new camera style we have of like the shaky cam sort of deal.
I like...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was done.
Okay. I felt like the fights were kind of more drawn out in a way that I like.
Yes.
Like they feel very deliberate and they read a lot more clearly choreographically than the Ichigo fights. And I like that every single one of them thus far carries the narrative rather than feeling like a break from it. They're all very, very well incorporated with the narrative of the episode in a way where if you cut the fight out of the episode, you would not know how we got from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Whereas in Ichigo, 80% of the time, I'm lowballing, I'm sure. You could just cut the fights out And really, all you'd really miss is the guy explodes at the end, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I love that our first rider kick of Kuuga was barely even a proper rider kick. I love.
So was the second.
Yeah, I love the energy that is carried throughout the kind of the first couple of fights of Kuuga, where you can really tell that Godai is kind of just trying to figure shit out. You know, he doesn't have that grasp on what he can do yet. So he's just kind of doing his best, and things are happening, and he's responding to it. It's such a really cool and unique characterization that, like, it does come up in other Kamen Riders as well, but not in the same way, I would say, as in Kuuga, just specifically because of differences in, like, what the plot is like, what the enemies are like, how they're encountered, you know, the cast that is supporting our Kamen Rider, etc., you know. There is a feel to this that is uniquely Kuuga that I don't think could or would be replicated in another Kamen Rider that I really enjoy. Because that's something that's really good about just Kamen Riders in general, is they do such a good job of making, especially in the way that they fight, be, like, very unique to them. No two Kamen Riders really feel like they fight the same way.
That's always a fun thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Spider-Man gets punched out of a helicopter and dies
Yep.
forever.
Yeah, sure.
We'll never see that guy again.
Yeah,
We'll never see that guy again. And Kuuga
and then we
gives
dealt
a
Kuuga.
thumbs up to Inspector Ichigo.
true.
Ichigo, I did it myself.
I'm not the only asshole.
As you know, as Inspector Ichigo is in the helicopter, and he's like, "Oh my God, another unidentified life form! Is he going to attack me, or did he save me?" And then he gets the thumbs up.
I am friend.
And then they ride off into the sunset.
Well, except
and
not
you
really,
hear the
because
Lion King intro.
yeah, you know what? I like that ending better. That's what we're going with.
No,
And then he wakes up in a Denny's.
Yeah.
yeah. God,
I mean,
no.
He literally wakes up in a Denny's!
Oh yeah, he does literally wake up in a. That's a good transition.
Yeah, I
Let's
was gonna
just
say that's a
get
great
the hell out of
transition.
here.
Yeah.
Episode 2. Godai wakes up in the Denny's.
Like, for real. Come on down to Eddie's Kitchen. We'll never see this place again, but I wrote it down. Because we get a new little restaurant to go to later.
Oh, is that the name of the restaurant? Eddie's
Yeah.
Kitchen?
That's what I noticed when they left, yeah.
Very good. I will just go ahead and say very briefly, before we wake up in Denny's,
Yeah.
we get to introduce our monster of episode 2.
Do you remember the second monster of Kamen Rider Ichigo?
Put your predictions in the chat.
Was
now,
it a
in
slug?
the comments or whatever?
Dun, 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 dun,
Like a,
dun, 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 dun,
like a
dun,
rose?
dun,
Did you guess the Chatterer?
No.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Anyway, it's
It's a Batman.
Yeah, he's a Batman. So
but he is also the Chatterer.
we watch a Batman do some vampire shit to a lady, and then we cut to the opening, and then we wake up in the Denny's.
Yeah, I couldn't hear them over the fucking camera ISO. That shit was grainy. They did not have actual light sources. They just turned that shit way up, and it was like watching through static.
It's so
little
good,
bit.
though. It's part of the
Yeah.
charm of just... I mentioned that it kind of has that student film vibe.
Yeah, a little bit. Props to them that they didn't just like try to day for night a thing. They just went out there in the darkness and tried to film, and we're like, okay, we'll make it work.
They simply did their best.
When you film in tokusatsu, you simply make do.
When you're filming tokusatsu, you simply make do. Words
Insert
to live
corn
by.
joke. Anyway, episode
Yeah.
2.
So yes, we wake up in the Denny's, and Sakurako is upset with us because we have slept for 11 straight hours after getting
the
our
Denny's.
asses handed. Yeah, we slept in the Denny's for
In the
11 straight hours after getting our asses handed to us by a spider.
God, and this is the scene I mostly got the feeling of when I was like, oh my god, Sakurako sleeps like Batman. She has been up all night working and is entirely unfazed. Like, she's not even like, oh, I'm tired, finally you're awake. She's just like, man, you've been asleep for a long time. Anyway, here's what I've done.
Yeah.
You want some pancakes?
Also, I just want to call this out because I remember I just have this distinct memory of watching him doing it and then being like, why the fuck did you do that, dude? When Godai wakes up, he asks for a menu, and then he takes a drink of water, and then he grabs some salt, and he pours it in his hand, and he licks some, and he makes a yucky face, and then he, dusts out of his hand. Why you lick the salt?
Am I about to say something rather incriminating?
No.
That you do it.
Not if I do first.
You both do that?
Have you
I
not
have.
done that?
I've done it before, sure, yeah.
I love to taste things I know will taste bad. That's why I lick all of my Switch cartridges.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that.
Okay, that was
Okay, not where I was.
Not
Not
that-
where I was
expecting
going with
this to
that.
go.
I do that.
I was
now.
just like, I used to do that as a kid all the time. I used to just get a handful of salt and lick it like I was a deer.
Like, sometimes I just crave the experience when I say, look at that. That is probably going to be awful. And then I try it, and I'm like, it sure was. I'm glad I did that.
Well,
very.
Is
rip
that-
to us, I
is
guess
that
you're built
strange?
different.
No, I mean,
Okay.
see,
That's why I ate paint.
you know, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's for you, Nonnagon.
No elaborating. Anyways.
No elaborating, anyway.
No elaborating. So yeah,
So Godai eats paint,
yeah.
and
Yeah. Godai probably does eat paint. Let's be real.
Godai's definitely eaten a little bit of pain.
it's kind
In his time.
Yeah.
of a mood, though, in that sense, right?
Is it?
A little bit.
No. Okay, let's go.
No.
Going.
Okay, we'll keep
keep
going.
walking.
So
Walks
so
back into
so
line.
Sakurako and Godai talk, and they talk about going back to Tokyo, and we head back to the police HQ. Listen to me. We go back to the police HQ to kind of deal with the aftermath of getting our asses handed to us by a spider.
Oh my god.
We've got a bunch of dead officers, and now there are strange incidents happening. We're getting reports of kidnappings, cows being drained of their blood. There are reports of bear attacks. People are getting mauled by bears. It's wild in these streets.
Children are disappearing was the headline that frightened me the most.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's some kids
Which-
who've just disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah, since we've already seen him in the opening scene, and since the preview in episode 1 really completely spoiled it, the implication is that our big bad is abducting children.
And he's probably eating
And
them.
eating them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's
He's
gonna
gonna
eat
eat
me.
Oh my god.
Because I feel like it's kind of often an unspoken rule in things like this, where children can be put in jeopardy so long as they're fine in the end.
Mm.
It feels wild to see that sort of unspoken kind of rule broken in a children's show, where we just outright express that children are being abducted and eaten.
Mm-hmm. It's fine because you don't
That's-
see the children on screen.
It's true.
Maybe-
You can get away with it that
maybe.
much.
You can do this is like JG Quintel talking about regular show. We can kill as many people as we want as long as they explode.
Yeah. As long as we don't show the child being eaten, it'll be fine.
For ratings, it's fine. It's just, since I'm an adult, like I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh my god.
It's horrible.
I know
for
as
kids.
I know as a child it wouldn't have affected me that much, because as a kid I'm not like, oh my god, they're going after kids. As a kid I'm like, whoa,
Batman.
Crazy.
murder.
You weren't like, oh, they're going after kids.
As a kid, I'd be like, why you got nipple rings, bro? And the chest hair?
What
'Cause he
sinful
likes the
pleasures do you have to
party.
offer me? He's literally the chatterer if he was a bat. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I say this, like, somewhat affectionately. This suit is really good.
This is... I really, really like Zulgomagu. He is a fucking freak.
He got nipple rings and he eats kids.
He is... This dude is an absolute freak. He is one of the worst things I've seen, and that's a positive.
Yeah, he is...
They fucked this man up.
certified freak 7 days a week. This man is an absolute disaster, and I kind of love it. So Ichigo's planning on heading out to a crime scene when he happens upon our cafe and he sees Godai. He goes to have a talk with Godai. He tells him to go back to Tokyo. Don't get involved with these fucking whack-ass evil monsters anymore.
You know, you kids really shouldn't be getting involved.
Yeah, exactly that whole shtick. And also go fucking see a doctor, you freak.
Yeah.
I know a
Yes.
guy, he won't rat you out.
Okay.
Get your shit
Yeah.
checked.
It is
so
actually
funny.
very funny how that does pay off later.
It's so good.
And I'll save it. I forgot he like explicitly mentioned that dude, and
Oh,
not
yeah.
just like, "Hey, get some psychiatric help, you crazy asshole."
No, he was like, go see this guy specifically. He's a homeboy. He'll keep you safe.
I promise.
He won't do anything weird or untoward to you.
Definitely not.
Though, he's got the... Listen, he could do something untoward to me if
Okay.
he wanted to.
All right.
But you don't... He's a good-looking dude. I'll say it.
Well-
we haven't met him yet, but he's fucking handsome. Anyway,
Okay, well, I would have said it anyway. It's true.
he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Anyway,
we hear that Ichigo needs to be called away for a crime scene, so he heads off.
I'm going to get an air horn for this.
I was gonna say I'm not even correcting it this time.
Fair.
Brr, brr, brr.
Oh god, I did it again. Ichigo. It's so easy is the thing. It's literally
Yeah.
one letter.
Yeah.
Ichigo gets called off to a crime scene. Godai obviously follows because he's a fighter boy and he have to fight. And we're trying to figure out what happened because this lady, she's dead and she's got these holes in her neck from what looks like a bite.
mean?
What? Yeah, what does it mean?
Dracula. one of those
here.
Ferratu.
I do want to take a moment just to point out that the scene of this crime is San Marco Church, where a young girl worries for the safety of one Father Jose.
Yeah, Padre Jose.
Yeah, Padre Jose.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid. He's El Muerte.
O Casan, ¿dónde está el pastor?
Oh, Dios mío.
I just
Make sure you get Japanese can sing Dios mío across it.
God. Buenos dias, Batman. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Godai loves B&E, as King Fat said.
Yeah, Godai loves B&E.
Yeah.
So he fucking breaks into a church because God won't judge him poorly.
Who would, really?
Yeah. And
Look
he
at
has
that
he
face.
has an encounter with Father Jose?
Question mark?
Exclamation point. I mean, they make it so obvious. I don't know if they're trying to bury the lead on this one.
We
The
were
man
making...
skulks out.
It's so funny. We were making, like, Columbo jokes about this because he was acting so coy about about this man's incredibly obvious tells, like how the light of the sun starts shining through, and he's like, "Ooh, better not touch that."
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
He gets hit by it and he recoils.
Yeah.
He's like,
Do you know
I
it?
didn't
he
notice that.
hisses, and it's so dramatic. Like, they're not subtle about him stopping in front of the light beam. He literally hits it, and he's like, and
I love.
and Godai's just like, oh, okay, well, so long as you're okay, and then he leaves.
I think my favorite
I
thing
won't bother you again.
about this scene is that he has no lines. Zugamogo just stares at him.
His hands are like clawed.
He does have one line, right?
Yeah, he.
Oh,
he,
yes,
like,
he says
touches
something
his
in the
ear
Grungy
eye.
language, yeah.
Yeah.
You smell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he hits their classic line, "You smell disgusting."
Yeah.
You nasty.
And I feel like
Fucking
that's
Y'all
the
think
reason
it's
why the
stank.
tells are obvious, because I feel like that's going to come up later. And that's going to work as a narrative device one of these days.
one of these days, maybe. You brought up Grungy language, which
Yes.
is a great segue for me to go on another tangent.
Please.
But no, this is a thing we picked up on, I think about episode 3 or 4, because we noticed the subtitles were actually like depicting them inverted, like from the usual color scheme, which is a cute touch.
Yes. Yeah, very cool.
And we were starting to notice, oh, this isn't Japanese at all.
Nope.
So, Ellie dug up some information from the wiki, I believe. During Kuga's original Japanese run, every line spoken in the Grungy's native language was left unsubtitled without any
Really?
hints as to what they were talking about.
Holy fuck.
As a result, fan sites attempted to decipher the language with success.
That's
The main mysteries in the early parts of the series include the reason for the Grungy's attacks and why they escape without resistance. In their native language lines, the Grungy actually address all those mysteries, even in those early episodes, which is why their dialogue was left unsubtitled.
So-
Japanese language subtitles for the Grungy's lines were included when the show was released on DVD and re-released on Blu-ray, and during rebroadcasts on the Toei channel and YouTube page, as well as in English language subtitles on Shout Factory's TV's website.
That's so fucking cool. I never knew that.
Yeah,
That's awesome. First of all, I can't imagine how hot the forums were every time a new
Right?
episode
Oh
dropped.
my God,
But
yeah.
Second, I'm curious, is it just like I'm sorry, I forget the actual term for this, like a dino language, like they just switch the phonetics out for,
I wonder.
or is it like a whole new thing?
It
That's a very
sure
good
seems
question.
like it's a phonetic switch, because I feel like some of the grammatical structures still feel very Japanese. But I don't know enough Japanese to say, but still, the little I know.
Oh, dino language.
I would be fascinated if anybody's documented that process from back in the year of our Lord 2000.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know
I'm sure it's
in
available.
Japan.
I just don't know if we can find it in English.
No.
You're gonna have
If
to
it was on
fucking
the
Wayback Machine a
Machine, yeah.
Japanese site and translate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I wonder if anybody's documented that, like, retrospectively.
That's
In
yeah.
English
I
even.
would love
Who
to
knows?
see.
I'll look
Gosh,
into
that's
this in the coming weeks.
So cool. Yeah, I that was something I was really curious about my first watch through of Kuuga, because I could get this feeling of like I can't imagine they would be putting subtitles for this stuff, right? So are people just not understanding what these guys are saying in the original showing? And now the answer is for a bit until they got fucking Klingons.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Unless you're a cool kid on the forums, mom let you go on whatever the forum would be for this at the
Probably
time.
2-channel.
Ugh.
I mean, that was the hotness, right? That was
Yeah.
the place to be on the internet.
I'm
do-
certain you're
for
right.
things.
I just don't like it. But segue.
Segue. So Godai leaves after doing his big B&E. I believe he goes back to Soraka, right? Yeah. He goes back to Soraka, who yells at him
Soraka.
because he left her at the restaurant.
He didn't even say anything. He just fucking
Nope, he just fucking dipski.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
he was told to go see a doctor, and then he absolutely didn't. But he still left immediately anyway.
Yeah.
Sakurako, you're a saint.
She really is.
Honestly.
She's just like, you left me.
What the hell, bro?
She doesn't even complain to him. She's like on the phone with someone else, and she's like, yeah, and then Godai left me for 3 hours, and she just like glares at him as she's talking to someone else about it.
I want to see the waitstaff who have put up with her having been there for about, like...
For the length of a D&D
what,
session.
like,
15 hours.
14 to 15 hours at this point.
Yeah, like I said.
We're assuming. Yeah.
We're assuming, not counting any time that they were there before Godai went to sleep for 11 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous! What a saint.
Absolutely insane. So they have to get some accommodations for being in Nagano for that night. Sakurako specifically, because she wants to go to the funeral of some of the excavation team members. This was a good
Specifically
bit.
the professor.
The head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Professor Natsume.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't even add pay. This has a payoff later, like not in this episode. I completely forgot that this was set up until just now.
Kind of.
This show
rules.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good. So yeah, Sakurako is planning on staying in Nagano for a bit because she wants to be able to attend the funeral. And we go back to Ichigo. He's doing cop stuff, which means trying to fight a monster by yourself, which is not...
Well, this time he packed his fucking rifle.
Yeah, it's at least
it's something,
actually,
I guess.
I don't think we're quite at that fight yet. I'm double checking here.
No, we're at the part where there's a bunch of other cops and he is one of the responders.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, right, that first fight. Man, I wiped that from my memory. It's so quick.
It is a quick little fight. So yeah.
But it's a good and meaningful fight once again. Juicy.
So yeah, Zugumago is roughing up some cops. Godai arrives to do Kamen Rider stuff. Ichigo. I sacrifice myself on the altar of the gods. Ichigo yells at him for being there. And Godai just kind of gets his ass beat.
Yeah. Another classic Yusuke job.
A little bit, yeah. He truly just kind of jobs to... I forget, does he actually successfully transform in this fight? I don't think he does.
Yes.
He does, okay.
He gets punched out of it, though, is the thing that... I'm a sucker for transformations being used to portray a little more than just a form change in any capacity, as a fan of tokusatsu and magical girls. So, like, most especially people being beaten out of their transformation is... I love it.
That's the good shit.
That is a big thing in Kamen Rider. Like, there is so much of Kamen Rider that is like, here's how we're going to establish this guy is strong, is he's going to beat up our hero so bad they de-transform. And it is, it's
Batman's
very good.
serious. He's definitely not the guy to explode in this episode. Spoilers.
Yeah?
There is one thing about him I would like to point out in this scene. It's recurring. It's just this is the first time it happens, and I lost my mind for about 2 minutes. When another cop comes onto the scene, and he's got his headlights on, and they flash on our Batman. The noise that he makes, what do you think it would be? Because I'll tell you what it was. It's...
I love it's like so like
so
realistic
pathetic.
is the thing.
He's not like hissing, he's not like rah, he's like
Stop it.
He's so sad and wet.
Double bucket of water on him.
Poor little meow meow.
Oh my god, no.
I mean, we haven't gotten kinda. Batman's like kinda serious, but also kind of a meow meow. As time goes on,
he's got very
we'll see.
meow meow energy. Is the problem? Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Batman is an interesting character.
He walks wet.
Slap. Squish.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the Squidward steps.
Yeah.
Squirting. Yep.
On God.
Nope, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah, we have to go to the hospital because Yusuke got his fucking ass kicked.
But apparently, Ichigo even more.
Yeah. Yeah, so we find out that Ichigo has been admitted to the hospital because him got hurt. And we come into the hospital as Ichigo is trying to just leave. And the nurse is like, "Hey, you are injured and you probably have broken bones. You need to rest." And he's like, "Nah, I'm not hurt. I'm fine.
I'm a super cop.
I'm real big and strong. I'm okay." It is one of those things where I actually, at this point, I kind of, and I think this was partially me remembering more stuff that we hadn't seen yet, but I kind of commented on just like how much Ichigo and Godai are actually alike. Like initially they seem like they're very different. And obviously, as you know, we much later on get like kind of a more explicit statement of Ichigo or Ichigo being like, you know, he's like me. I knew I couldn't, you know, prevent him from doing hero stuff because I wouldn't have been able to prevent myself from doing hero stuff in the same situation.
He's just like me for real.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is he is just like him for real. Yeah. And it's I like that they do like little stuff to establish that early before ever like explicitly saying it. They show you before they tell you. And if you're paying attention, you can notice. And one thing that I particularly noticed is that they both, like, even though Ichigo is kind of portrayed as being this like very intelligent and like well thought out person who, like, you know, he doesn't necessarily make moves without planning them out first. You notice if you pay attention that both him and Godai have a tendency to kind of just go and not really think about things all the way through.
Operates on vibes.
Yes, yeah, they are both very operates on vibes kind of guys, which I think is what makes them such a good pair.
I like it. I like the very explicit acknowledgement of this arc that they're about to go through, wherein as he's trying to leave and as Godai is trying to follow him, Inspector Ichigo literally he literally grabs him by the coat and shoves him against the wall. And he's like, "Listen, you can believe that this power you have is for fighting, but like but you don't have to fight. There's no reason for you to fight. This is not your job. So don't go around like playing." He tells him like, don't even try to get involved if you're not serious about this.
You're a bum ruck.
Yeah, but gay anyway.
It's very gay, but and very good.
It's very good, and
he takes it to heart too. Like it's
he does.
Like it does not take a lot of fucking around for Yusuke to actually like kind of go like, yeah, okay.
I like it. I like that Yusuke's a really direct guy, where, you know, if something's happening, he does stuff about it. If someone tells him something, he thinks about it. It's... I don't... Maybe it sounds obvious, but he's not the kind of person who, like, you know, if someone does something like that to him and tells him something like that, at this point in time, his characterization very strongly is... let me think about that. Let me think about the words you've said. And he's not going to, like, retaliate. Like, oh, you're wrong about me. He's going to decide... he's going to decide his intentions because his intentions were questioned, and then he will state them.
Mm-hmm. It is very...
I care.
Explicit characterization on the part of Godai that I really like. Godai is a good Kamen Rider. Anyway.
What a good egg. What a little guy.
He's a good dude. He's also just a good shonen character. Like, like a lot of the qualities of classic shonen characters, but like with the weird amount of good amount of thoughtfulness that comes, that should come with that sort of thing. Growing from the people around you, the people you know, like that kind of shit should happen maybe a little more or a little less fucking dragging, kicking, and screaming.
Yeah.
It does probably help that he's an adult.
Yeah, true.
Love it. Love all these adult protagonists.
He's a grown-ass man. He knows what he gets it.
Yeah. So after our encounter at the hospital, we go to the previously mentioned funeral at the Natsume residence. Yusuke and Sakurako arrive together. You can tell when I'm reading from the wiki because I call him Yusuke because that's what the wiki calls him.
I call him Yusuke all the time.
That's fair. I know my brain defaults to mostly calling him Godai, but the wiki uses Yusuke. So anyway,
Godai feels more serious, and I don't think he's a serious guy.
He's not.
Yusuke reminds me of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah,
but call this man Urameshi.
Yeah, Yusuke is absolutely the kind of guy who you would call him Godai to his face, and he'd be like, "Call me Yusuke."
For real.
Anyway, so Sakurako is actually at the funeral, and Godai decides to wait outside while it's happening, and we get this good little scene that mirrors a scene that we had in the diner that I really, really liked. Because, it's just, we're doing the traditional Japanese funeral stuff. We're watching Saotari as she prays, and we watch the professor's daughter, get up and, she goes outside and she's crying and, lamenting the death of her dad. And we just see Godai. He doesn't say anything. And he really it's a pretty light action, but it just conveys a lot. He just kind of, he looks over and he sees this happening and he just takes a fist and very lightly pounds it into the wall. And that is our, affirmation that he has made a decision. Mm-hmm. And I really like that there weren't any lines that needed to be exchanged between him or anyone else, at least until later on. And I liked that it did mirror, because there's a scene, there's the scene way back when he first wakes up in the diner where he's talking to Sakurako about using the belt and how it felt and how he kind of just intuited everything he was supposed to do. And I think Saotari makes a mistake, or not makes a mistake, makes a statement to the effect of I'm used to you being more straightforward or something like that. And he's like, well, I am usually a pretty, I'm usually a pretty confident guy, except for when it comes to, and he just makes a fist and puts it in his hand. And he doesn't say anything else. We leave the conversation there and we start talking about something else entirely. But I like that we just get one little thing that shows that, Godai's not a fighter. He doesn't do, he's not the kind of guy who does this normally. And this is him acting on what he feels he has to do more so than anything. It's, it's just a little thing. It's not the most mind-blowing use of symbolism in the show or anything, but it's still it's just a little thing that I really appreciated on my second watch through Kuuga. It's just a good ass little bit.
A lot of fun.
It's good. It's everything it needs to be.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's... This show is so good so far.
Kuuga's very good.
But yeah, I don't have any more notes for that scene.
No, that's fair. I don't have too many more notes myself, so we can sprint along to the end of the episode. So we see Ichigo go. He speaks to a man who was mentioned during the investigation earlier. They talk about like a drunk said that he was being attacked by a monster, and the sun started to come up and the monster ran away. So Ichigo goes, he finds that guy, he asks him about the monster. The drunk is
Our
like,
most drastic time stamp, by the way. I guess it was like at the funeral, it was like, I think 11?
The funeral is 7:21 p.m.
Right, and then the drunk guy is 4 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah, it's 4:08 a.m. is when
Good God.
Ichigo goes and talks to this dude about the monster.
At the
Same
Oden
passage.
stand, which I was very distracted by because I was hungry, and I was like, oh, Oden.
Yeah,
Oh,
always
Give
so
me the
delicious.
soup.
give me those stewed daikon slices.
Oh, baby. Anyway.
Irrelevant, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, so he asks him about the monster, and he's like, yeah, I saw the monster go to San Marco Church. So, Ichigo...
This guy's all the way in San Marcos? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh.
It's 45 minutes away, son of a bitch! I'm never gonna catch him. Anyway, Ichigo, being a very smart and capable policeman, goes to the church by himself without telling anyone or without any backup, but him got a big gun.
He got a fucking rifle now, and he's gonna take that motherfucker out.
Yeah.
Great shot when he's coming into the church. Because you get this, like, I think it's like it starts tight, but it starts widening the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got kind of like a crane cam. And as the shot gets basically at its widest for like maybe a second,
Yeah.
you realize that that he's just Batman's hanging upside down in the top right corner of the room.
Yep. It was so
it
good.
fucking rules.
It's Nosferatu. And then he has his own transformation. It's so
I
good.
love this transformation. It's so wild.
And they let him do it entirely upside down while hanging on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It is the best. It is it's truly a supremely good scene. So Batman transforms, he starts attacking Ichigo. Surprise, surprise, Ichigo starts losing because he can't fight a Batman. That's
He's too fast.
Yeah, he's too fast. But luckily, Godai arrives and does something really stupid.
Oh yeah, I'm going so fast. Oh fuck.
Oh shit! Oh fuck, my bike!
He just wipes his shit out
Wipes
into the
his shit the
church.
fuck out. It's so
The boy's
good.
got spirit.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. It is and this is the scene ever.
Yeah.
This is such a fucking scene. God, this scene. So obviously
in which Yusuke does the pelvic thrust.
dude.
Make you drive me insane.
Yeah, I got a fucking time warp for you, Batman.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, obviously Ichigo is mad because Godai showed up, and he's like, what did I say? What did I told you? This is not your job. Let me do this. I'm the police. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And Godai, kind of gives him like an affirmation of like, I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm not doing this on a lark. I'm doing this for the same reason you're doing it, because I want to help people, because I want to protect people, because I don't want these things to murder anyone else. I don't want to see other people lamenting their lost loved ones from these monsters' actions. And then we get the line. We get the line ever, the name of the fucking episode. So please watch my transformation, or henshin. And we get to watch him do the proper Kuuga transformation for the first time. It's so good.
Which is a pelvic thrust.
At least to start. That's how you summon the belt. You gotta thrust. I love Kuuga's henshin. It's so good. I love the hand placements. I love the fist over the belt. I love the noise that it makes. Just everything about the Kuuga transformation is so good.
I'm very fond of how, and I'm sure this is going to be true for many other transformations, but thus far, like, the main ones that I've seen have been more so flourishes and you know, general cool guy poses. This one is very much more reminiscent of martial arts stances.
Yeah.
He stances up.
Really, it gives, like, this very subtle additional imposing kind of aura to his transformation, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it emblemizes why he's there, why he's transforming and fighting. It's like, he's ready. He's taking this seriously. It's good. It's good shit. And has the church started burning at this point?
Yes, the church is already on fire at this point.
So for the candles.
So now we're just on fire, transforming, stancing up, and facing down the Batman.
And it's so great.
Man. Yeah. It's some good shit. This fight, I was keeping a little better track of this fight, not move for move by any means, but one of my favorite spots is that he goes all the way outside at some point just to crash back through a window.
Oh yeah, the bat. That's
Batman
earlier when he's just fighting Ichigo. Yeah.
Oh, was that for Ichigo? Yeah. Oh,
yeah, that was
God.
for Ichigo.
It's so funny.
I don't know why he goes. I don't know why he got outside. I don't know how he got outside. I don't know why he got outside. But yes, he slips out of the church and then flies back in. I'm coming to get you, fucker!
Just so he can break some stained glass. It was great.
We really wanted to implement this imagery, but we didn't know how to write it into the fight, so we just said screw it, and we made it happen anyway, and I respect that.
Same.
Here it is. Yeah, I don't remember, like, any huge particulars, because, like, I really, like, when I started paying attention to the fight, it was kind of almost distracting in that they, like, go out and into a building nearby.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's...
area.
It looked like it was housing a roller coaster.
I think it was,
they're running on a theme park at night, I think. It looks really industrial, but they're definitely...
That church must fucking hate their neighborhood. Like, the Sunday service, you gotta be right next to the fucking fun land with the roller coaster happening.
I don't know, it looks pretty fucking abandoned.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, all rusted and crusted.
I feel like
falling off.
Kids would still want to go to an abandoned amusement park instead of church, but
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, maybe that's just
obviously, and we get the tag team.
Yes. Yeah, so we find out during this fight, Spider-Man is not dead.
Oh my god! I thought you were dead forever.
Nah, he's alive, and he's here to beat your ass with Batman. Except not actually, because this fight takes a long time.
I was gonna say, they fight to the morning light.
Yeah.
Which is not really conveyed super well, but yeah, at a certain point they bust out of the roller coaster and whoa, it's daytime.
And of course Batman hits us with
Batman gotta fuck off.
Yeah.
So now Spider-Man gets the one-on-one rematch with fully powered Kuuga.
Yep.
Kamen Rider Kuuga.
Kamen Rider Kuuga. And he gives him the business, and I realize now that I accidentally jumped the gun on the last episode, but this is where we get our first Rider kick.
Yeah, that it's truly, the question mark is exactly the feeling you get from that.
I mean, it's so good though.
That was a finish?
Yeah,
sure, whatever.
It's very that was a finish, but like it also like it makes sense. It's it stands to reason because this is fight number 3 for Godai. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, his finisher is kind of wild. It's like a bicycle kick, kind of like, and he actually does the Mortal Kombat bicycle kick later. But it's like he like stances on your chest and then kicks off of it.
I do also like it's our first use of what I call the Kuuga pose. That landing stance that he does is like uniquely Kuuga. Nobody else does that, and I fucking love it. I love the angles on that pose. There's an art reference for you, artists. Go get a screenshot of the way Kuuga lands after he rider kicks someone, and just use that as a study because that thing fucking rules. It's such a great pose. But yeah, we are into Kamen Rider proper now. We've kind of established everything. Godai is victorious, and he rewards himself by letting the injured Ichigo sleep on him.
And that's my final note for the episode.
Yeah, I literally wrote, "You're my new boyfriend," because like they wake up in each other's arms, and they're just, and he's not like, he's just kind of like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, Ichigo wakes up and he's like, "Why am I lying on you?"
Yeah,
and
Godai's
like, "Don't worry about it." And then he just lies back down, and
he goes,
like,
"All right."
You're like, "Fine, I won't. I hurt."
I hurt, and I'm probably incredibly gay.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say shoutouts, but also in memoriam of actual explosion effects. We it's a fully CG explosion, but it does come with fully CG explosion gibs.
Yes. I loved watching the bits of Spider-Man fly at the screen.
Like,
it's very funny.
That took me off guard. Because I'm just like, whoa! I was not expecting just the head could come flying like whoosh.
The fucking his hand goes at the screen.
Right.
It like goes at the
It's
camera.
a splash zone.
3D.
Yeah.
I want the Kamen Rider Kuuga 4D experience.
Yeah, it's so good. Wow, I can really feel the
I know, right?
gore just on me.
Yeah.
They look at the screen and tell you smell bad.
Oh.
Oh, I showered.
But yeah, that's episode 2.
That is episode 2, which leads us into episode 3, Tokyo. Can you guess where we might be going for this episode?
Nonnagon.
Yeah. That's a great segue because we start this episode at the Nagano Prefectural Police Hospital.
Where Ichigo is in a hospital bed, bandaged, but they kept his trench coat on.
Yeah. You gotta keep the trench coat on. Listen.
Yeah,
they just
you gotta
unbutton
keep it
it.
sexy.
So good.
Yeah,
So silly.
they took off everything else. Trench coat stays on.
Yeah.
The
He's
trench
got
coat stays on.
bandages around his chest. Like, he definitely... They took the coat off and put it back on him after caring for... It's great. They're just too committed to his look.
It is very good.
And then he daydreams about his boyfriend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, poor Ichigo, though. His boyfriend is not waiting for him in the hospital. He left him a note saying that he had to go to Tokyo.
Meanwhile, in Tokyo.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, at Tokyo Station Platform 20.
Kid Bandit is hanging around. Okay. Discord ate that laugh.
Oh,
Not wrong.
shit! No, you're not.
Unlocks the ee-hee-hee.
We're about to be introduced to some of the most GNC as fuck people of all time.
That
The
was-
most early 2000s ravers / Xenobites.
It's
Yes.
so good.
Episode 3 is, of these 4 episodes, the one I have the least notes for, but the
Yeah, it
very
is.
first
Me too.
thing I wrote was, the Grongi human disguises are fucking peak. They are so good.
The Gorongi have unlocked some kind of, like, advanced gender science that we haven't quite gotten a grasp of in our modern era since they were lost.
God, yeah.
It's so powerful, and I'm here for it.
It's
However,
so fucking powerful.
I don't know about anybody else, but the Gorongi scenes of them walking around town were kind of like sensory hell.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's fair.
I do feel like
Yeah.
that's the intent.
I think
for some of
all
them I
the
do.
all the
but
Cronkies are autistic. Is the problem?
That's why they look the way they do.
maybe, yeah, wait,
That's
looks
I
in
guess-
mirror, hold on.
Let's-
I
brains are a wild thing.
I took
We
a
were-
note of that actually, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of a mood.
Yeah, it does really remind me of times where I go in places I just don't want, like how it feels to go to the grocery store now. I do it so seldom since like the pandemic started. We get groceries delivered just to the house, and it's been fantastic,
very
and I
nice.
can't go back. And the very few times I've had to actually go inside of a grocery store when people were there, I just feel like the volume and saturation meters return to like 50 billion. There's just so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to get out of here. Oh my god.
Yeah, Ellie was making notes of intensely relatable, horrifying sensory experiences.
God.
Yeah.
I feel especially bad. There's a scene, like the first guy we see seems relatively okay as he's walking down the street, but then there's another one who's standing by a road, and as the cars are driving by,
Yeah.
he's
He
like digging
loses
into his
his
arms.
shit, yeah.
He's like, oh!
I'm like, dude, get out of here. You can't just sit here and subject yourself to this if it's that
Gotta
stressful.
go.
Sometimes
Let's go.
That's how it has to
Paralyzed.
No, come on. I will take you by the hand. We're going to go inside. We're going to sit in the corner.
be. I was
We're going
inside.
to chill.
I was working. I'm
Oh.
on the clock.
Well, I can't. Listen, that's different from the situation. I don't have a good coping mechanism for that compared to how easy this one is to
Okay,
achieve.
you know
Don't
what,
stand
fair.
by the highway.
Don't stand by the highway.
I do want to say though, because you know, I will admit to at least not in any diagnosed capacity having, you know, these similar issues. So I didn't think about it until you guys started saying anything about it. But they address this in future interactions with the Grungi. After this bit, every time you see a group of Grungi meet up, it's like somewhere that is closed off and isolated.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Which
That is
again,
making
so nice.
a lot of those locales make a lot more sense.
Yeah. I like it. At first it seems like they're just kind of meeting in like weird places, but then you think, like, thinking about it from that lens, like they're trying to meet like places where they can kind of separate themselves off from all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Wow. I didn't even
Quiet
catch
areas.
that. Yeah. Good catch, you two. Thank you very
As
much.
someone who takes earplugs to the movie theater, I can relate.
Oh,
you've been to the movie theater.
Not in a few years,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say it's
When did
certainly been a long.
Hunger Games 1 come out? Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
I've said this already. That was my last movie experience.
That was quite a bit ago. I mean, that covers a good chunk of what happens.
yeah,
the
they spend a lot of
episode.
time on this.
I mean, it makes sense.
Lingering.
We're character building.
Yeah, we're establishing the locale of Tokyo and the freaks that are now residing in it.
And then we go to school.
Affectionate. Yeah, and then we go to school. Tofu on Zafaya. I think that is always in my brain.
Where's school? I gotta scroll down a bit.
Yusuke's sister.
Yusuke's sister. We go to
Yeah, I'm trying to find school in the synopsis.
Was it Wakaba Preschool in Toshima Ward?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Yusuke goes to the school that his sister works at. Do we? I notice here that it has her name in the synopsis, but do we actually hear her name in the episode? I forget.
I think at least once. I didn't write it down, but pretty sure.
Just to be safe, her name is Minori. Everybody, this is Minori Godai. I was about to say Gudai. Who the fuck am I?
Godai
Minoru
Sensei.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Minoru Suzuki. You know he's in a Kamen Rider, right?
I do. I remember hearing about that.
Okay, yeah,
It's
I was
great.
gonna say it's just the one episode, but it's still very good.
It's awesome.
The scene in the preschool is not very important. He
But it
just
is fun.
juggles for the kids. I don't know, why he comes to visit the children, but they seem to love him, and it's implied that this is pretty regular since this is a preschool. So,
I think they're really trying to hammer it, just like an extra dose of Yusuke is friend of children.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, Yusuke is good boy.
And I think this does develop into more important things down the line. At least, for individual plots and stuff. He is a kind man who is very
He's a kind
understanding
man.
of children
and juggles.
and is thoughtful when you least expect it. Like he treats kids seriously.
I care this man. He's very sweet.
Yeah,
What a blorbo.
This part of Godai's nature, it definitely comes up often. There is, without spoiling too much, I will just say there is a specific instance that happens a fair amount along the way down the line that I want to be in the room when B gets to see it specifically. I want to see his reaction.
Oh god, I'm afraid.
That's nice.
No. Do feel no fear, no pain. Remember what the opening said.
Oh my god. Truly our power words.
Yeah.
From now on. No fear, no pain.
No pain.
No fear, no pain. Let's go.
God, I just feel like a fucking personal trainer.
You're a
little
life
bit.
coach. Let's
Yeah.
go.
The preschool
Come on,
scene, I think,
push it.
if I'm remembering right, is intercut with the briefing the police is getting.
I don't think it is intercut, and the way it's set up here
Or not
in the
intercut,
synopsis, I believe
they
the
cut
briefing
back.
happens. Yeah, the after they're done at the school, they cut back to the briefing with the police, where they are a couple of things are being talked about. One, and this is something I commented on just because it is kind of unique to Kuuga, and I really enjoyed it. We are studying the Grangi
Yeah,
and trying
we don't
to
know what
figure
the
out
fuck these
the
things
hell they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the point in time where I was starting to get kind of impressed at the level of police involvement and competency in the show.
Yeah.
a little bit.
They're
Yeah.
not just like guys to mow down before the hero I won't deny that happens constantly,
I mean-
but they're working behind the scenes in ways that I kind of didn't expect the show to give them credit for, and I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it gives Ichigo an extra point to act as a liaison because he's in this, and this is the information he's basically getting, but it's always at the behest of the Force itself.
It's so good. It's
context.
everybody has their roles that allow them to give information very organically. Like he's the liaison for the police research and their next tactical moves. And he also has a say in them as a member of the police. And you also have Sakurako, who's at the same time organically studying the hieroglyphs and learning what they say. She can't just sit there and read them. So
Yeah, she has to get on the computer.
whilst Yusuke is learning how to use his powers and getting familiar with them, I think it's cool that everyone in our trio is kind of growing towards a greater understanding of their goal.
Yeah.
We got
And
a
in
crew.
tandem, in tandem, they all help each other tremendously. It's so good.
Like,
I love this. Oh yeah, go ahead.
we've also, actually, this might be more of a thing, so you should go.
I mean, I'm just gonna talk about events. So.
Oh, okay.
Then yeah, you do yours.
Then there's also, like, not only are they working in tandem, but there's also, like, side stories that are happening. Like, there's the thing of, like, the police have twice now, I think it's twice, start to say like, hey, we need more military equipment here.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Like,
We need more guns, please.
Yeah, they're talking about trying to upgrade their firepower because we've had these scenes where previously, specifically, like the best example is in the first episode, we watched the police unload like 4 clips into Spider-Man, and they just kind of slurp out of them.
yeah.
And he's like, why would I even remotely give a shit about that?
And I think that's really interesting because it could set up like so many different possibilities of like they spend a little bit of time on this. It's not just like a throwaway line.
Yeah, it comes up.
There's active consequences within the next couple episodes.
Well,
it's awesome.
I know. I'm thinking about like how will that further compound.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
Fingers
it.
crossed. The briefing scene is a lot of fun because yes, they cover the weapons thing, which is fun, and we also we're getting the in fiction terminology. It's great. Like we're so used to like, oh, we get the exposition. An evil group names their new stupid monster, and we all know its name now.
Right.
This is just like the perspective of people who don't know shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, these are ULFs. We think like they identify Kuuga as 2 separate ULFs because they don't know that it's the same guy.
Yeah, there was
so
a white one, and then there's another one that looks kind of like the white one, but his horns are bigger and he's red. So that's got to be a different dude.
Yeah, so we just default to that, and that's great on its own.
Yeah.
And then Ichigo is basically like, I love ULF4, he's my boyfriend. We should maybe not attack him, please?
And then the police chief is like, well, why don't you kiss
source?
him then? And he's like,
Checkmate.
if he's your boyfriend, where is he? He goes to school in Canada.
He's in Nagano.
God.
I mean, Tokyo.
Great. It's great.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, so now there's kind of the secret identity thing that Ichijo's trying to balance with Godai because he's like, oh no, I don't want to jeopardize his safety or his identity, but I also don't want him to get rifled in the face by the police.
Yeah, because
So-
the police are now in like, hey, if you find a ULF, shoot to kill.
Hey.
On site.
Yeah, it is on site with all ULFs.
Literally,
Also,
it's on site.
once again, sorry, we're going to probably be doing this and for the rest of this episode. More Ichigo complaining. The secret identity. Multiple consequences of this actually being a secret identity that is acknowledged.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's very good.
The police guy, because that conversation is straight up. He goes, like, I think we should protect you all for. He saved me. Oh, you're confident of this. Who is he? And he's just like,
the chief of police asks him, do you have proof that ULF-4 was trying to save you? And Ichijo just has to kind of be like, well, shit.
My only thought was, hey, someone else was driving the helicopter.
Yeah.
that guy doesn't know shit. He just does a fucking tussle back there.
He was trying to keep the helicopter steady.
Yeah, right? I bet, honestly, helicopters are touchy.
Yeah, not to be like, oh, plot hole. I just meant like it could have been a potential, but I'm not going to be upset that they didn't pull on that.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, that only would have been vouching for one of the ULFs and not the other, because nobody else knows that about ULF 4.
Yeah, right? That was just for the white one.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, oh, white.
Which, I also, that is something that I do like, because that is a very reasonable line of logic to follow with these unknown creatures that you're facing. Ichijo says, like, I think we should, I think we should make an exception for ULF's number 2 and number 4 because they tried to save me. And the immediate response to that is like, how do you know they were trying to save you? How do you know they weren't just infighting because like number 4 wanted to get to you first? Like, do you have proof that this thing's intentions were pure? Like, maybe it just wanted to be the first one to rip your throat out, my guy. We just don't have the proof. We can't take that risk.
That Spider-Man's a menace.
Exactly.
He was working with the Scorpion.
But I mean, it is in this specific situation, it's incredibly fair. They don't have that information. They can't rely on that. And I like that
it's earned.
Yeah. It's super earned. I like that it's earned.
That's the main. I think that's the main theme for everything we compare to Ichigo, is that we're literally just grabbing all the shit that Ichigo never earned, and this show earns within 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
The show rules.
Kuuga is very good. So after we do our briefing at the police HQ, Ichijo's gonna head out to do some more cop stuff, but he gets pulled over by his nerd-ass, dork-ass friend.
Who rolls the window down with an actual handle and shows him a VHS tape.
Yeah, we gotta see our bike. The Tri-Chaser 2000.
You know it's the future, baby!
Yeah!
I love this stupid bike. I love the setup for this stupid
good.
bike.
Yeah.
The Tri-Chaser 2000 fucking rules.
Yeah.
I really love that this scene is basically just to introduce the bike, and the whole basis of it is this other cop that Ichijo is like friends with being insanely excited about the instruction video for the Tri-Chaser.
He's so excited.
He's so hype, and Ichijo's like, yeah, I know everything about the thing. I was there when they were fucking prototyping it.
Sasuga Ichijo senpai.
Yeah, for real.
He's just like, yeah, that thing's a badass. Anyway, bye.
Yeah, no, that thing fucks severely.
Yeah.
I got shit to do.
Yeah, I'm an adult. I have a job. So
meanwhile, local freak climbs house.
Sorry, tiny side note. How much does it hurt to say I'm an adult, I have a job to your coworker? Anyway.
Truly the most
like
ferocious of
some
birds.
people.
Oh, senpai.
Yeah, really just ruin that, man. So we get a quick scene where we get to watch Godai do some more B&E.
The same house, but I love this
No, it's
scene.
a different house. It's the place where he lives.
Oh, right.
This is him breaking into Pol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting.
Speaking
Okay,
of places.
Yeah, we don't really get to find out much about this place for a little bit, but it's a good place. But I love this scene because it's just like, it's such the full establishment that this neighborhood fully knows who Yusuke is. It's just like, yeah, that's just shit he does. We don't question it anymore.
I love that the guy who sees him climbing the building, he tells him he's going to go back to Nagano, and he's like, cool, bring me back some greens.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bring me some freaking souvenirs.
Have fun, dude.
You?
And Godai's like, cool, yeah, I'll get you some wasabi too, my guy. Don't worry, I got you, brother.
Yeah, and knowing,
you know he brought
him,
it.
He's absolutely going to, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, what a blorbo. He's so sweet.
He's
rotating this man in my head.
I was gonna say, do you have a new Blorbo?
I
might have a new Blorbo.
Damn.
We fucking love this guy.
Now I feel like a freak. I spent today making a list of Blorbos and Godai wasn't on it.
He doesn't have to be, but you could always still add him.
I feel like I should. I feel like I'll be othered if I don't.
No,
but he doesn't.
No.
My brain has very specific worms. And
it's okay.
And I
we
like
all have
Godai,
our
but he doesn't.
worms.
He doesn't tickle those specific brain worms. I'm one of those freaks who watches a TV show and appreciates all of the like protagonists and everyone, and then pushes them all the way to the side and finds a side character and goes, "He's my favorite."
I usually like that, but Godai is soft.
I've had those. I've had all those moments. There's plenty of shows I do that for, but this is the first time. I'm just impressed that they made me like a protagonist so much, frankly.
Yeah,
also,
that
he feels like a guy.
Immensely likable. There are a lot of Kamen Rider protags who are.
They're so great, and I'll admit that We'll get to it eventually, but there's a side character in here I think I'm already latching onto.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not Blorbo energy.
I think I know exactly who. And I think we might have
Probably.
the same note.
Oh boy.
Anyways.
Okay, well, let us continue with the thing. So, Ichigo's walking around. He's doing some cop stuff. He accidentally bumps into a woman who is a Grongi in disguise, and so
Tuxedo Mask.
She hits him with the Grongi special, the Grongi crotch chop. You smell disgusting. Bam, got him. And he goes, "I'm sorry, I'm going to call you back," to the guy he's on the phone with, and like goes over to her and shows her a badge and is like, "What did you say?"
The fuck do you say to me? What language was that? Tell me everything.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it? And her response is, "Run as fast as I can away in heels."
She books it!
Yes, I was going to say, props to this woman, because while admittedly this run does kind of look silly because of the way her arms move,
a little.
Holy shit, that must have been crazy hard for that actress to do.
That is like a genuine sprint. Like, I feel like...
she's
I wonder if
booking
she got hired because she can sprint in heels.
Maybe.
Like, truly. That shit was impressive.
It was impressive, yeah.
Impressive!
Truly good. So Ichigo, of course, Ichigo.
I'm not correcting it at this point.
I know, I'm just mad at myself. Ichigo, of course, gives chase, which ends up leading to him following her as she runs into our boy, our new special variant, Nude Batman.
Old bum ass,
naked
ass Batman wrapped in a coat.
Such a sad wet man.
Hobo
so
Batman.
sad. He's so wet, but at least he's got his earring that he can flick.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So they have some sort of a conversation where Batman gets put in his place, as it were.
This is like kind of getting to the end of the episode. Sort of the back end.
This is like midway-ish.
I can't remember. Did we leave out the part where the Grongi crew, the GNC Grongi crew?
No, that is literally the next scene after this.
Okay, it's right after this. I can't remember. I know we were like most of this episode is Grongi stuff, so I wasn't sure if we're.
Yeah, no, we
cannot pass over one part of that part.
No, I was gonna say.
Insane. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
So yeah, I guess we have a name. I should give you the name. Our Rose woman. Her Grongi name is La Balvade.
Sure. I'm not gonna retain any of this.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not gonna retain any of these fucking Grongi names. I call them like I see them.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just, some people might give a shit.
Somebody out there.
Someone out there.
Listen, I'm not unappreciated. I appreciate the documentation.
Thank you.
I am not disparaging you. But I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't remember any of these names. I didn't even know these names. I didn't know Spider-Man had a name.
Right?
So
it exploded before anybody could talk to him.
Yeah. Anyway, Ichigo is, of course, spying on this meeting because he's a good cop. And then he gets caught because he's a bad cop. He gets caught with the old ice cube. He was creeping and sweeping and sneaking. But then his ass got caught because his beeper kept beeping.
Right!
Please
yes! This isn't even the fucking last time this happens to him.
Nope! Silence your fucking phone, dude!
Silence his damn cell phone. He's a fucking detective.
It's insane.
It's the year 2000. Cell phones are new.
Yeah.
The etiquette is new.
Truly.
As I mentioned, as I watched this episode, I still can't help but compare it to Taki. Because, Taki would have...
This guy is the Taki.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
he is, but also like Taki would have just like walked up and been like, "Hello, how are you doing?"
He would have put on the fucking black lipstick and a purple wig.
Oh my god!
I'm here.
What do you do, fellow Grongi?
Yeah, he
I'm
would have
ready
just been
to
saying some
boogie.
bullshit nonsense, trying to act like he was talking to them.
Hoopa joopa doopa. Hey, y'all doing?
You're feeling groovy tonight.
Hobble bobble beeble,
Speaks
hibble bobble hooble
Speaks
bobble.
in perfect Japanese. That's racist.
Oh, it's
God, Tobe Tachibana out here committing a microaggression.
Well, yeah, because Tajibana is the one who dressed him up.
oh.
Yeah.
It was his idea.
Yeah.
I like, but yes, Ichigo is super the Taki, and I know everybody made gay jokes about Taki and Hongo / Hayato. I was like, I've always felt we were reaching, like I did, but we were reaching. This ain't a reach anymore.
No,
that just
yeah.
happens now. This tension is real.
This is there is one thing that I can promise you, and is that as time goes on, Kamen Rider will get gayer. I promise you that.
Popping bottles.
Yeah.
We're 2 episodes in on our 3rd, and this is already, like, bordering canonical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, yeah, there are some Kamen Riders where it is basically all but said. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there are Kamen Riders where it is said, just not explicitly they are dating. Well, those aren't the words that are said, but other words are said that are like,
Yeah,
how the fuck am I supposed to interpret this besides they're gay?
There's some sexuality and gender sections in the Kamen Rider wiki. Like that shit's canon
yeah.
sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But wait, we're veering a little. Call me, beat me. You're gonna get killed by Grongi.
Yes.
Whoops.
So we got, speaking of the Grongi, we're having ourselves a little Grongi meetup.
We just hanging
underneath a bridge or something.
Oh my god. See.
It is it's a wonderful scene. This is another, just for purposes of due diligence. And I'm sure I'll bring up these names again because these people are going to come up again in a later context. But the 4 Grongi that meet together are Zu Vazuba, Me Gamere, Zu Zainda, and Zu Mevioda.
Okay.
So,
a lot of zoos.
yeah, a lot of zoos. They're meeting up. They're talking about how much they hate humans and how stinky they are.
They suck and they smell bad. I hate them.
And some biker guys show up. I hesitate to call them biker guys because only one of them is on a bike, and then the other one is riding bitch.
Listen, they're saving up for another bike.
Yeah. Listen, the economy. How do 2 grown men not have $800 between them?
Bro, there was a lost decade. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the economy is in shambles.
Yeah. Sigh.
So old biker man Sam, he walks up and he starts trying to start shit when he sees I should pick out which one is girl.
Which one was it? Yeah.
It's
This
not
guy-
not you, Afro Sam.
It's just
Not you, Kid Bandit.
He notices cute girl like
It's,
a second
okay,
after I notice cute girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zu Meviota.
the
Can't
way
blame
he
the guy.
treats her
No,
was
not that part.
scummy enough to surprise me for a kid show.
Mm. Yeah, he says some
Well,
stuff and he does some stuff.
Yeah. Like, that chick's got nice legs, and I was like, yeah, brother, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And then he squats down and grabs one of them.
Yeah, that's a little much. Perfect positioning. for the spot of all time.
The spot of all time. You see, he done fucked around, and now he's going to find out.
Good. This one deserved it.
As he gets hit with The ultimate rising knee.
Yes. She kind of like crouches down a bit and then kicks him, and like a fucking field goal, he goes flying into the ceiling and then just slams on the ground.
He hits there's like a support beam.
Yes.
Just sends him straight neck first into the corner of that support beam.
He gets fucking Javert.
Super fast.
My man just cracks like an egg.
Drops like a sack of potatoes. It's incredible. It's visceral.
It's so fucking good. So obviously
he was wearing a helmet.
His friend runs away because who wouldn't run away after watching a murder like that? But of course that's not enough for Zumevio, so she's going to make chase. So we see Godai is heading into the subway, but he hears a motorcycle crash, and when he runs towards it, he sees Zumevio is going to attack someone.
Zumevio is now a Catwoman.
Yes, Zumevio has only become hotter somehow.
She's got kind of like the Black Panther fit.
Yeah, a little bit. She is. Legitimately, I do kind of like Zumevio does. Just hold look. I am not immune to buff Catwoman. Damn it.
It's not. It's a good look.
It's a good look. The Grongi just in general have a good look.
I think this is now that we've actually seen her. Is this the one you were referring to, Nonnagon?
Which one? I mean, like, how referring to when?
You were talking about how one of our Grongi looks like they may belong in another genre very comfortably.
No, I believe that's next episode.
Ah, I see.
Well, regardless.
Oh no, it's a few episodes actually.
Regardless, we see old Godai. He tries to fight off against our Grongi assailant, but he gets bested because he does not transform.
We get one of the more anime shots of a live action thing I've seen in a long time, where he tries to fire on Batman. And he dodges really quick, but he gets nicked, and then it regens on his face.
Yes, that's back over with Ichigo. That's right when he gets caught. His phone goes off and he fires a shot. It's a very good bit. So the police show up to the fight, and Zumevia, her whole thing is she is, I think, specifically cheetah based. So she promptly fucks off. Because that's her power.
Yeah, she's very fast.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
She gets dinged in the eye and then fucks off.
Yes, I was going to say, I was misremembering things. There does come a point where Godai does finally transform. They're facing off against each other, and they get swarmed by the cops. And it seems like it's going to be a bad news bears situation, because we're thinking, oh no, Godai might die. But we essentially find out in the next episode that they are both able to escape with their lives, but only one of them does not escape unscathed. Which essentially just brings us straight into the opening of the next episode, because
pretty much.
The end. It is a very to be continued ending. Like episode 5 starts right where episode 4 starts where episode 3 ends. With the standoff with Kuuga and Zumevio, being surrounded by the police. They fire. Godai is able to escape, as is Zumevio, but she takes a bullet to the eye. Then we get fun with communication. As we go back to the Nagano PD Task Force Center, where Ichigo is given the news that unidentified life form number 4 was shot to death. And then someone else is like, nah, he got away. Oh. And then finally the police chief shows up, and he's like, all right, the official word is he got away.
Oh, Okay.
And
Man,
Ichigo
maybe
is
we
very
should
relieved.
clarify our shit before we just start talking, huh?
Yeah, Steve.
Whoops.
You fucking dick.
Slap you with the fucking That's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Buenos dias.
That's a different slap.
Episode 4.
Yeah, so we talk about how are we going to deal with unidentified life form number 5? She's so fast, and it's like, well, it's a good thing we got that newly finished Tri-Chaser 2000. We're gonna bust out the fastest bike in the force to go after her.
I guess it's worth noting that Ichigo has found himself on an official task force that has moved to Tokyo.
Yes,
he's repping Nagano as the guy who knows about freak animals.
Yeah.
Fucked up beasts.
Yeah, look, finally the police have decided to make this an interprefectural issue now that something bad has happened in Tokyo. No surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making the big old joint task force. Ichigo is going to go over there as the Nagano representative. And so, he gets that information and he's like, all right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go to Tokyo immediately and start getting the work done. And his friend officer, the one who also gives him the false report about Kuga's death, is like, hey, are you sure that you should leave immediately? Your doctor said you had 3 broken ribs. And he's like, nah, don't. I'm fine. Come on. I would know better than anyone else if I was hurt. Hey, fucking spoiler alert, he's really fucking hurt.
I'm gonna go nap.
Yeah, my very first note for this episode was that doctor wasn't lying. Those ribs can crack.
My first note is, since it's in media res, is, bro, that's so many bullets, stop it! Because he's ugh!
Yeah.
And they start unloading every gun in the city on him.
Yeah.
Then we this one immediately follows into my next note too, because then we cut from Ichigo over to such a raw scene. I fucking love this quick little bit where we're just we're in some sort of underpass.
Yeah.
And Zumevioda is just digging the bullet she was shot with out of her eye.
This show is pretty gruesome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's super realistic blood too. They don't she doesn't have cartoony green alien blood. That fucking those grungy bleed red.
You see the meat of the wound. It's
and then that officer comes to find the bullet and he fucking tastes it.
The old spy tech. I love it.
What are you doing? You freak for this one.
Steam names.
I respect it.
You're gonna catch something.
Oh yeah. He already has. He's caught them all. That's why it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's why when he hears a sound coming from a really dark tunnel, he goes, yeah, fuck it, I'll just check it out.
Why not? At this point in his trajectory of life, he
beats the hell out of dying of HIV or hepatitis
insert
or
any other thing.
Dysentery.
Oh, poor guy. He really... What a gruesome fate.
Raw shit continues as he goes, eye for an eye, bitch. Yeah.
And it
Gets
really
him with
looks
the
like
spike.
it kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is the central plot of this episode, is that she's like, y'all motherfuckers fucked up. And now I'm hunting down cops, and I am pulling their eyes out and killing them.
I'm so angry.
Yeah.
I am so big mad.
And all the rest of the Grongi are like, bro, come on.
Hey, can you chill? We're supposed to be doing... We've got, a fucking... We've got a process.
We've got a thing.
And she's like,
Yeah.
I'm just getting some revenge. Fuck off.
Bro. Come on.
we've scrambled the plot of this episode all the fuck, but that's okay.
I do want to mention that I think around this point I started to notice that the Grongi stuff has the color filters on it, and it's really good.
The 2000 screen filters. Well, they start doing different colors.
Yeah, they do different colors. It's just usually like very saturated, very like one lens sort of overlay over it. And I think that
really blown out.
I think that interestingly contrasts with like every other scene, because it's like, oh, it's really enforcing that this is different. This is kind of
these are otherworldly,
off kilter, and it's just, I really like that, because it's not just like, this is happening in the narrative, but also through the actual filmmaking. Or the cinematography. I just really like it.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
Everything else is very like starkly realistically lit.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe like stylistic night, but it's still supposed to just be, this is night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Just seeing all of the stuff that they're actually doing is just so nice.
We have jumped around a bit, but I believe this is where we get into our first motorcycle chase.
Not yet. That is this episode, but we do have some stuff I wanted to cover first. Specifically after we watch Uzume Vyoda deal with her deflected eye, we get a good scene of Godai and Sakurako talking to each other. Specifically, like Godai is he's sleeping in at Jonan University because he's trying to figure out how much progress she's made, if any, and she's like, "Boy, you're just like Ichigo. He was asking me the same thing." And he talks to her about how he got fucking shot. And she's like, why are you being so cool about this? You got shot. And he was like, it's fine. I won't die.
Nothing could kill me. I'm convinced I'm immortal at this point.
It's a very good, and it sets up stuff that happens in, like, I think the next episode as well. Stuff that I kind of commented on in my own notes happened a little bit earlier. Than it does in some other Kamen Riders, but it is a very kind of natural progression to setting up Sawatari slowly but surely being like more concerned and also angry at Godai for the way he's acting, because he's doing like really fucking dangerous stuff, and he's kind of like having little to no regard for his own life in the process. And you get this is the start of like what is a very natural progression into the thought that maybe he isn't taking her feelings fully into consideration when she says like, "Hey, I'm worried about you getting hurt during this like super dangerous stuff that you're doing." And this is something that usually ends up coming up at some point in pretty much every Kamen Rider. Certainly in all of the Kamen Riders I've watched, there always comes some sort of a breaking point, and where that is dependent on the series and how they do their plot progression and everything. But there always comes this breaking point that I really enjoy, where essentially one of the side characters, which unfortunately usually it's female. But one of the side characters who has grown to care for our Kamen Rider kind of finally asks, why does it have to be you? Why do you have to be the one to go and sacrifice yourself and do this dangerous... Why do you have to go risk your life almost on a daily basis to help other people? And each other Kamen Rider has their own justification for why they do it.
Because I'm the bug one. Because I'm the guy with the bug suit. Fuck off.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, is that comes up in other Kamen Riders where that's not so much a thing,
Not exclusive.
Like, with this one, it's like, yeah, all right, well, I'm the one that the belt called out to. I'm the one that the belt got absorbed into. Like, who else could do it at this point? But there are other Kamen Riders where it's like, it literally is just like a belt. Some other schmuck could put it on and go off and gallivant and be a hero. So why does it have to be you specifically? Why do you have to be the one to put yourself on the line? And that I always love that part in the Kamen Rider. It is just a great kind of a humanizing moment that is it's really fun to watch how each Kamen Rider does it. And I'd forgotten until my rewatch, here, just how early it kind of comes about here in Kuuga, but it's not, like, it doesn't feel forced. It feels like a very natural, like, hey, I wish you would care as much about how dangerous the stuff you're doing is. Like, I wish you cared about that as much as I do. Because I am worried about you getting very legitimately hurt or killed.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get into more of that very soon, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is like the initial setup of that sort of stuff, and I like it.
I'm fond of it as well. I really like... It's a fun thing in, like, all hero things that I enjoy when the hero is kind of put in a position to not necessarily, like, question their motivations as if whether they're true or false, but question the origin of their motivations. Like, why do you want to be a hero?
Right.
Why do you want to fight the bad guy? And sometimes they don't have a real answer. Sometimes it's just, it feels right, and that's not invalid.
Yeah.
And other times they really have to stew on it. Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, why does it have to be me?
I think it's a really fun way to put a spotlight on your protagonist's entire, like, mentality around the whole driving force of what they do in a series. The entire, like, this is the thing, this is the show. Like, Kuuga is the show. So I love the idea that we would start questioning, like, why do you do this from the mouth of God? Like, what is your reasoning to do this?
Yeah, it is a very good thing. And I think the other thing too is that I like that each writer has their own, it is not like just a generic because I'm the good guy. Like, each person has very legitimately, in their own words, their own reason for why they are doing this that makes sense to their character as well. It's not, you don't come across it and then get this feeling of like, oh, well, this is kind of left out of left field for you. It's one of those like, yeah, no, that's, everything that you have done up to this point would lead me to believe that this is your actual, like, thought and philosophy on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so revealing. I love it.
Yeah.
I look forward to more.
Yeah. I look forward to more. I look forward to the rest of this episode, really.
Yeah, hey.
The rest of this episode, very much so.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Remember how it's a Kamen Rider?
Yeah. That's actually, that brings up an interesting thing. I do want to just take a quick pivot because the synopsis reminded me of a fun line that's in the episode. So right after this conversation, Ichigo calls Yusuke and they agree to meet up at the entrance to Tokyo Station. And Yusuke gives Sakurako her phone back because I don't think Godai actually has his own phone. So in order to talk to him, Ichigo has to call Sakurako.
Yeah, because he calls it earlier, and it leads to an Indian restaurant.
Yes, yeah. The number on the card goes to
card.
Pol.
Oh, is that Pol?
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, that makes way more sense. I thought it was just some random Indian restaurant.
Yeah, no, it is the restaurant that he lives/works at, except that he doesn't fucking do any work.
This is adding up now. It did not make sense at the time, but it makes perfect sense now.
But so Godai gets off the phone with Ichigo, hands Sakurako the phone, and goes, "I got a date." and then heads out.
Sure do, buddy.
He's like, yeah.
Sure do, buddy.
You sure fucking, yeah. What gay as hell?
Bless his heart.
It is very good. So we in between that and this next scene I'll talk about is the scene we briefly mentioned of all of the other grungy being like, hey, fucking Mevio, quit it, and her being like, no, and also fuck you.
Pretty much.
So Ichigo calls Sakurako back because he wants to, let Godai know that Mevio's, reappeared, and she's like, sorry, he already left for your date. And she's like, hey, do me a favor. Again, like, kind of building more on what we just talked about. She's like, do me a favor. Tell Yusuke to, like, stop transforming. I'm worried about him. We don't know what's going on with him. And he's just kind of running head first into this without thinking of his own safety like he always does. And this leads to another good scene later on, but specifically in the second episode, so I won't bring it up. But then we get into essentially the meat of this episode, which is it's a lot of combat. We watch Mevio just murder. Mevio's just going around. She is murdering cops left and right. They cannot catch her. Godai tries to catch her by stealing a cop's bike. He can't do it.
This dude wipes out right in front of it, and he goes like, "Hey, you good? Okay, I'm taking this."
Yeah, I'm gonna need to borrow this actually.
Very, very sweet.
So
and then he gets stopped by some stairs.
Yeah.
If only I had some kind of special fast bike with a 2000 in the name. Oh well.
Oh yeah. Oh well.
Also, this is roughly around when they're tracking her movements, the Catwoman.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, all units, she's on Hongo Avenue."
Screams, points.
There's
a
a
fucking vine boom.
joke to be made there.
Did nobody else write down that there was just a Hongo Avenue?
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, no.
We've got Hongo Avenue, Jonan University, and there are two first villains.
Yeah. I think there's more that definitely are probably at least homages to other ones, but not at the same rates that Ichigo presented them.
Yeah.
But further entries are definitely like, yeah, that's still like, we're still keeping theme of a lot of stuff we've done before. With new twists.
I totally didn't notice Hongo Avenue.
I got down to the
Hongo Avenue. And
I'm
we'll
gonna kill you.
I am driving at top
And
speed.
then we'll take it right.
I'll kill you
I have
with my
5
bare
stars.
What is happening?
hands. That's all I needed
I'm
to
under
hear.
arrest in Jutsu.
Oh my god. So
Anyway.
Ichigo picks up Godai after he fails to catch.
And he's like, "Come here, I gotta show you
Catwoman.
something in private."
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I need to. Here,
Okay.
come into this warehouse. I want to kiss you. I mean, I want to give you this bike.
Yeah.
Cough.
There is a brief conversation between Godai and Ichigo that basically amounts to what all of their other conversations for the past 2 episodes have been, i.e., stop doing this, it's dangerous. No, I need to help people.
No! No!
Pull on your jacket!
No!
You're like literally an asshole.
Man, you gotta stop transforming!
No! So yeah, Ichigo realizing that he's just not gonna fucking stop Godai. It's not gonna happen. he's like, all right, here, I will give you the prototype, the souped up. Damn, this was way too expensive to try and mass produce.
The coolest bike in the world. The bike that fucks for you.
You can stick your dick in this bike.
That's how cool it is.
No. Nope.
It the
Stop.
spokes. Makes it sound like a motorcycle.
Sprays with a water bottle.
That picture of the dog from WikiHow.
So yeah, Ichigo gives Godai the Tri-Chaser 2000, the good one. He saves a side character who's actually going to become relevant, so everybody remember this name. Morimochi Sugita! He's a cop. He's going to be part of the Joint Task Force. I spoiled a thing for you. Fuck
I
you.
don't remember this guy.
Well, remember him, because like I said, he is going to be important.
No. It's... I wrote down, now that's a rider kick, and I know what it is. He literally kicks somebody with a motorcycle.
Yeah. This part of the episode fucking rules.
It's so silly, but it's
Because-
so incredible.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
saves Sugita, right? He rescues him from the ill fate of having his eyes ripped out, and then the rest of the episode is bike stunts.
It's so silly.
Very
It's so silly, but it's so dope.
slow bike stunts in some
Yeah.
parts.
It goes from high speed chase into we're doing bike stunts inside of a building and just sort of
Like-
chasing each other in circles.
It's
Real
very
bike
silly.
stunts in real time.
Yeah.
Which, they're cool, but yeah, I was also wondering if perhaps the effect would be benefited by speeding up the footage a little bit.
Or some crazy
No,
cuts or
it's
something.
just-
like
Some.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
it's so funny. just like Benny Hill in a circle around this abandoned building room with like a pool in it or whatever. It's I eventually wrote there's just a thing in my notes that just says, "Get off your bike, you asshole!
I know.
Fight me already!"
I have a similar note. I'm like, this is rad, but it's so incredibly silly. Just get off the bike and punch them, please. And then in parentheses, it's fine, actually. Just keep doing the silly stunts.
But then a few minutes later, I hope you don't regret that he stayed on the bike.
No.
He just
'Cause
like
it's
bitch
so
slaps the cat with a wheel.
It's fun.
love
I just think it's fun to see him actually use the bike in combat.
Like the payoff was good. It was just, it took a silly amount of time to
Yeah.
get to the part where he actually
very
uses
silly.
it to fight.
Hopping around on pipes or whatever they
Pipes
were.
and boxes and shit. Like
Yeah.
stunts.
Yeah.
Motocross.
Doing bike stunts, baby. This
Goody
is where
voice.
I will now,
Y'all ever do motocross?
This is where I'll now bring up a note that I put in the very first episode, just because it was a little fun little tidbit fact that I had, and I saw Godai on a motorcycle that made me think of it. Kuuga, Kamen Rider Kuuga, has the most on motorcycle time of any Heisei rider
Oh.
by like,
I believe it.
a pretty wide margin too. There was. I was sent it a while back, so I don't have the exact numbers memorized anymore. But there's like a chart that like tracked like, hey, what percentage of your time as a Kamen Rider do you spend on your motorcycle? And I don't remember if this is actually right, but I want to say it was actually something to the tune of like 51-ish% of on-screen time Kuuga is on the bike.
That's a lot.
Whoa.
He's on the
That's
bike
so
a
much.
lot. Yeah.
You do be riding.
I guess they're counting only when he's transformed.
I think it might be counting only when he's transformed. I'll have to see if
Because there's plenty of time when he's not
yeah.
being Kuuga, I guess. So, and not on a bike.
It was something that I believe deer sent directly to me, so I'll have to see if I can hunt it down again. But yeah, Kuuga, like, bar none out of every Heisei rider, he's just, like, way up there on bike time. So if you like bikes, watch Kuuga.
I think it's a nice bike, especially since it's really gay. In the
gift from his boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's part of his boyfriend's arc of coming to, like, take Godai seriously. Yusuke is like, no, I'm serious. I have thought about this. I want to emphasize that I am taking this seriously. I am committed to the defense of the innocent, and I want to fight. I'm going to give it my all. To which he proposes to him with a bike.
Yeah. It's their wedding vow.
Which, yeah, like, that's their engagement ring.
Yeah, basically.
And he made a pug face at it, I'm suddenly remembering what he
Common Pogger, baby. It's back.
Common Pogger, yeah.
Common Pogger 2.
In full force. I really want to know what emotional beats potentially could come from this bike, kind of now, in a sense, being representative of their budding bond of trust.
Yeah.
And to that point, to that trust, once Yusuke finally is off the bike and brawling, we get this amazing part where the police are busting in to try to try to get a handle on this, and Ichijo's like, hold on. And he just straight up says, I believe in him, and it smash cuts to Kuuga just getting his ass beat.
No, he'll turn this around, I swear.
No, I swear.
Just give
I believe him to come back.
Come on. And he does, but it's like, we get really, just extended beatdowns.
Yes.
Kuuga takes heat. And it's very funny every time.
Yeah.
And then he does his new rider kick thing and sends someone through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Boom.
And they explode in the air.
This is something about Kuuga that I really like. You don't really get to watch any other Kamen Rider develop their rider kick. A lot of other writers kind of... And I think it is because there are, like, either implied or stated time skips between, like, when you might watch a Kamen Rider first transform and then other times watching them use their rider kick. So, there's reasonable time in universe for them to have worked it out. But, it's cool to actually watch something like that be in development. It's not a thing that he just knows to do. He has to, like, figure out, like, it is interesting, and this is something that I think is really cool about Kamen Rider. They do a pretty good job of shooting the scene so that even though he is in, like, a mask that cannot do expressions, you can tell he's never quite sure how the fuck he's killing these people.
How do I do that?
Yeah, they linger on the right stuff in the right way just enough so that you can get this sense of him of like, all right, well, I did it. I'm not sure how, but I did it.
All right.
And it is cool to watch that develop. And that is something that is very unique to Kuuga.
This show's good.
The show is very good.
This show's very good. This show's so gay and good. G for gay and good.
G for gay and good and green.
And green.
And
gay, good, and green. Unfortunately, I don't think that could be our YouTube title.
There's so many possible YouTube titles.
Green.
How
does this close out? I remember there being a thumbs up because this thing is thumbs up.
Yes, there's always a thumbs up.
Which...
Oh, doesn't he do it in...
Don't you forget about me thumbs up.
Yeah, he brings it back, right? He does it over the shoulder, like fucking Samus.
Cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also, I really like how he doesn't say anything as he does the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's helping him keep the secret identity. It's so good.
That's our thing, baby.
It's just, yeah.
So good.
And since since we're kind of directing towards the end of our batch, I want to actually make a special note of the Jikai for this one.
Please.
So I know this is where I started noticing a trend that continues in further Jikais of something that's not necessarily funny, but the way they cut it in is really fucking funny. And one of them is just in this Jikai, there's just a cut. They do like a couple scenes, and then they just cut in a guy falling from the sky to his death.
Yeah.
They make it
Like,
seem morbid.
And then it cuts to a complete next thing. It doesn't seem morbid. It looked like a comedy pratfall. Like in the next episode, that's very much a person dying. But
there's an episode later on in a Jikai, and it's got like, it's a scene with a train, and it's had me anxious the entire time, and then it was just cut weird.
Yeah.
And it just made it look terrifying.
oh well, that was just on purpose. That one is super on purpose.
Oh, but,
That one, like, we'll get to that when we
Yeah.
get to that, but
We'll get
like
there.
that was on purpose. This one was just like, why would you cut it like that? It's so funny. There's a Jikai later that I want to do a re-edit of, and I probably will.
Very, very excited for that. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. But I think that is going to do it for us for this, our first episode back to Longtime Watcher, First Time Writer. Join us next time. We are going to talk about episodes. I forgot the numbers again already. 5 through 8. There we go. Those are... I'm sorry, that's not the name of the episode at all. That's my first note. Those are Distance, Azure Dragon, Grief, and Archer. Until then, you know all the places where you can check out all of these people. You should do that. Follow the Twitter so you don't miss an update. Join the Patreon so we can do more cool stuff for you. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful evening. And as always, remember, if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in Buddha, you can always believe in Kamen Rider.